Good morning, Northwest Indiana. I'm Bob.
And I'm Brett.
And you're go for it.
We get better
And
at
I'm
that.
Adriana.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm the producer.
Lynette hates being on the radio.
Oh.
So we don't.
It's okay, because she's a mastermind of doing everything back here,
All
especially
the
with
other
Simeon.
stuff.
So I'm just like,
Yeah.
go girl, you got this.
She's
we
got
love
that.
you.
It is 6:01 here in beautiful Hammond, Indiana. You're listening to WJOB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM. Streaming live worldwide on the YouTubes. We've got a lot to talk about today.
There is a lot to talk about. Top story, I think. It was that. Well, and are they related? Terrible weather in Griffith a night ago.
Yes.
And then this morning there's a train derailed. I don't know if that's a
Well, that happened from the storm.
it was part of it. That's why I wasn't sure if it was just a regular train derailment or a storm.
Just your run-of-the-mill train derailment.
Can we get
Runaway
Chuck on the
train.
horn here to
Yeah.
analyze the train?
No, see, he'll like a freight train. I think that's his brand of train that he likes as a
He's
a
good
freight
with,
train.
with moving goods about the country, but not people.
Yes, but not people.
Intermodally. But yeah, there's we have some great footage we'll get up here in a minute, but appears to be a cargo train that derailed on the South Shore line, which has stopped traffic in both directions, it looks like, right? The whole track is shut down?
Yeah, I don't know if that was a. Here you go, Chuck. I'm about to say, I don't know if that was a double track.
You got the aerial footage right here.
There we go. Take a gander at that. See, it's a double track.
But wouldn't it be a little dangerous, because like right here, it's broken.
Now,
Like the rest is broken, but that's a little
I can't picture, because I don't oftentimes go to. Honestly, the studio is about as north as I really ever go in the county. But to me, it looks like with that elevation that those cars are going to roll right on top of the expressway. But I
We
don't
got another angle
gonna-
of it. I'll show
the camera pans back to us, and we're just like trains,
y'all.
trains.
We have this footage right here. Show y'all.
Okay.
So yeah,
Shout out to Trucker Mike for the
aerial footage. This
our
one was from
our eyes in the sky.
Dave from Crown Point, I believe. I know I tried to tag him on Facebook, but we don't know what his tag is on Facebook, so
Yeah.
it's Dave from Crown Point. We got
My guess
some new
is-
footage too.
my guess
So
is
let's
that
see here.
The area is lucky that because those are coal haulers. So my guess is that we're lucky.
You
that
are
they're-
a train expert.
There you
huh?
go.
Yeah, all these Mondays with Chuck have been rubbing off on you. Not only does Bob know
All
what
right, let's see here. We
type
got
of
some-
train it is, cargo.
There we go.
He knows what it's hauling.
So it's from Region News Source. Shout out to Paul Guy. We got some cranes over here working on getting those trains probably in a little safer. I know it's a little.
You know how to do that.
You think about something like that
Let's see here. Yeah.
happening, it's like, what do they? I mean, can you just set them back on the tracks and roll them away, or is it?
Are
like,
their wheels like kind of messed up?
Yeah, I mean, I think
Well, I
it
think there's wheels, Adriana.
Well, yeah, I know there's wheels, but I'm saying like
The wheels on
like
the
if-
train go round and round. Yeah,
What I'm saying is like think of it like when you mess up like a Hot Wheel car, the wheel just kind of is going sideways. So maybe that might be a thing.
But I mean, once they're you see the cranes, I wonder if they lift the crane and get
pop
it
them back on.
Yeah.
My
Back
guess
on.
is that those. I don't know what you call them. I'm in the chats there. Where's Brent today? He's right here. Oh, he's wearing the camo hat. Wow, we're talking.
and
We're
that's
doing trains and
Well,
dad
and I'll
jokes
use
here
that
on
as a
WJOB.
segue as my camo docs hat today is because we will be out at the Country Fest in Griffith all weekend, starting today at 4:00. New festival for Griffith this year in the park. One of our favorite places to do festivals, and they've got a great lineup, and I'll talk more about that in a bit. But yeah, I figured I'd break out the camo hat for the country show.
That works.
But I didn't know it made me invisible on the air.
That was the worst dad joke ever.
The
Now
train?
the train. Now I was thinking about the goofy dad joke tattoos I have. The
So we
train.
have this
So
here.
that right there. So that was my context clue. You can see the Nipsco meatball on the truck or on the.
The Nipsco meatball.
Yeah, so
Take a
the NIPSCO, the blue NIPSCO symbol, but it's yellow here.
Oh, okay. So that was a coal train.
Yeah,
going to
they've just, I don't know why, I don't know where, but it's always just been the meatball. So when you see the blue NIPSCO thing, that's the meatball. And my guess is, had those been full, you're not moving those. No amount of wind is going to move those.
Yeah.
If they were full. So
Let's see, here
Is
we
that
got
what it, is that what it was? Was from wind?
yeah.
Yeah, I saw.
Well, that's what the interweb said.
I saw so I was yesterday morning about 10:30. I was taking our trailer over from Dyer to set it up in Griffith, and I was at work all evening, and when we close down, we'll prop the back door open to get some fresh air in the kitchen, and while we're scrubbing the floors and stuff, and it was raining, but I didn't notice anything. It wasn't. There's some thunder and lightning, but it wasn't like a bad storm, right? It was just it was a summer storm. And when I started getting into Griffith, I turned down Broad, and there was just trees down
everywhere,
all over the place. No power, no lights on. The traffic lights were all off, and I was like, "Wait, this is like, I don't know, 3 miles from our restaurant, and we didn't have anything over there." And then I was reading. Paul Goddard, another shout out for Paul. His in addition to being the region's lead news hound, he's also kind of a weather expert. Got to start in this whole social media video game as a storm chaser. And he said that there had been what they call a microburst, which is, and I thought his description was really good because I've heard that term before, but it's when a big air mass basically crashes straight down ahead of the storm, and what it does, where instead of spinning like a tornado, it shoots air out, creates wind in all directions. So it's not like all the trees are knocked down one way, but can hit 100-mile-an-hour straight line winds. And man, Griffith. They were. I mean, I was back over there 6 o'clock last night. The power got on, and I was getting everything turned on in our trailer and getting ready to go. And it was, they were heavy equipment moving trees, and shout out to Rick Rifa and the town of Griffith. Not only is the festival going to go on there, I would imagine by later today you won't know any of that stuff happened because they had crews out all over working. Yesterday morning, Broad Street was blocked between 45th and Ridge. And again, no power anywhere over there. I think it's mostly been restored by now. But there was, there was significant damage. Is that train? When did that train derailment happen? Has it been there for a day, or that's?
Was that Wednesday?
Is maybe.
I swear, all of these rain events are just mushed together.
But the climate's not changing. Right. Well, you said something interesting to me the other day. We were commiserating over the Dyer Fest, and
yes,
what was the rain total you gave? I thought this was interesting.
Brian Lane, if you're listening, you can text me the right dates. So this is just ballpark, but it was something like from June 8th to June 15th. Whatever that
2-week window.
Yeah, whatever that window was. Dyer received 12.8 inches of rain, which is a 100-year event.
In Alabama, we call that a little more than a foot.
A little more than a foot. We had so just in that period, we had that much rain. We were fortunate that all of the 36 square miles in Illinois that drains into Dyer had only gotten about 8 inches. Over that same time. But the ground is so super saturated, there's just nowhere for it to go. And if you're driving anywhere, any amount of rain that we get now, you're seeing just, kind of puddle up. But yeah, and that amount in that, 7 to 10 day window is 1/3 of the rain that we get the entire year we got in just that little period there.
So we got that little camera up there. Is there a certain point?
Oh, no. I was just going to say, if you just wanted to throw that up, here, shameless self-promotion here, just because I don't have a Doc shirt. The town of Dyer, we're part of the Indiana Weather Network now. We have a camera at the police station, and it's been spinning around. We've been trying to find the best way.
That's a live stream?
Yeah, live stream.
What a pretty sky this morning.
Paul Goddard always says, point it to the west. And so it does have some PTZ capability. We've been putting it to it, but we've just kind of been panning around to see what. I think the other day the guys had it turned around because they were watching the helicopters come and go off of the hospital there. Just because, if it's not trains, it's helicopters. And
machines.
Yeah, I know.
Boys like machines.
Yeah, I know. But you can find that on Indiana Weather Network. Just something cool that we have in the region now.
But I think that's a big, one of the things that I follow, in addition to the price of oil, is the price of corn, because the annual corn harvest impacts our pricing greatly, right? Like whether people know this or not. I don't know the exact number, but it's very high. 80-90% of the corn grown in the United States is not for humans; it's for animal feed, right? So. They were already having a drought year in most of the Corn Belt, and which I think we're probably on the eastern edge of that. It extends a little bit into Ohio, but for it to be a period of drought, and then you get a foot of rain in a couple weeks,
no good.
No good for the corn. So. Maybe Matt Maloney, my buddy, the old corn trader, can call in and give us a heads up, because he actually told me earlier in the year that this is an El Nino or La Nina, whatever's going on this year is typically bad for the corn crop.
I'm sorry. As soon as you said La Nina, I went back to, I think it was Chris Farley who just yelled out, "It means the Nino." And for those of you who watched,
can't remember
when SNL was good 20 years ago.
That's right. I was talking to one of the kids at work the other day, and I was doing I live in a van down by the river, and they thought I was an idiot. No one knew what that was, and I was like, that was the.
It had nothing to do with you quoting "live in the van down by the river." No. So we're gonna. I want to talk about your staff for a second. This is not a docs plug. You've got a handful of folks in there that are really good, just really personable. And we went to Garcia's last night up in Chicago to listen to some music.
I have not been there yet.
Oh, fantastic! Michael Glabecki, I think I pronounced that right. Lead singer of Rusted Root.
Okay.
And Dirk Miller from Rusted Root, they were there, and. It was just an awesome show. But they were another one. I love going to places where the staff is they're nice and they're friendly, and I just want to give you a shout out because you've got a few new folks in there.
Yeah, we always have new folks, but we have everybody. We try to hire the right people, so we have a pretty intensive. So
for you listening, this may sound like a plug to go to Docs at 1420 Calumet Avenue in Dyer, Indiana, but really it's they're just attentive, and
there's we can train people to do the mechanics of the job, but what you can't train into people is personality, and so one of the things, it's an old Marriott cliche from my years of working in there, is you look for people that have the heart for hospitality, right? That genuinely care about you having a good time. One of my favorite quotes, there was a guy, Danny Meyer, do you know who Danny Meyer is? Founded the Shake Shack, but before that.
That's where we went last night for dinner.
But Danny Myers is one of the greatest restaurateurs of all time. 11 Madison Park is a legendary restaurant in New York, and he's done a lot of great things. And I make all my managers read his book on it's called Setting the Table, but he has a whole chapter in there about hospitality is a selfish act. I take pleasure in you having a good time, and I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this to make myself feel good. But I get the joy and the happiness when I see my guests having a good time. And we try to instill that in everybody. So thank you for that. That's appreciated. So on Garcia's, this is a funny thing. So Pete Shapiro, who's a kind of a, I don't know, an impresario. So he was the guy that put together the Grateful Dead 50th concert series, which was a big deal to get all of the, most of the original band members weren't really playing together, and they said they never would. And he did the 50th anniversary show at Soldier Field, which I was lucky enough to go to. But he owns Garcia's, so
okay.
He started I'm gonna look it up. You might want to take Liam. It's a fun thing, but he started a place. He took over a place it's called the Brooklyn Bowl.
Okay,
and so it's a bowling alley, but they also have concerts in it.
Oh, that's cool.
And then he bought the old Capitol Theater, which was a legendary venue in Long Island, and he bought the little space next to it, and they put a bar in it called Garcia's that's opened every night.
Yeah.
And then, pre-show and stuff. And they've kind of franchised it. I believe there's one in Nashville, this one in Chicago, but it's supposed to be an amazing. I have yet to go, but the sound, everything is supposed to be really, really good. And he gets great acts in there. But I recently read his book, and he has. He's a Chicago guy. I believe he went to Northwestern and made a documentary when he was in college, following the Grateful Dead around during a summer, and that was kind of his entry.
Yeah, that had to be a summer.
Yeah, but ended up buying a legendary nightclub in New York called the Wetlands Preserve, which was really big in the late 80s, early 90s with that scene of music, and that was his stepping stone. A great success story. So I've got to get up there. You've been several times, right?
Yes.
I have
we
not been.
We saw some. There was a couple, I think Ben Harper's coming beginning of October, so that might be a fun one. Really good food, cool environment, relatively small. I don't know that you're going to get, 200 people in there, 250 people maybe. Good night out, and I got to tell you, I'm going to butcher the guy's last name, so I'll just say the guy from Rusted Root, his voice is incredible. He just, oh my gosh, it sounded like
I haven't seen them in years. It's like you like all
same.
of the music that I listened to when I was in college.
Oh yeah,
I was never a big Rusted Root fan, but they were always on the bill of festivals that I went to. I mean, I dug them, but
they were so good. So that's all we got. Anyways, it is 6:19. We're going to take a short break here, and when we come back, we'll be taking your calls at 219-845-1100.
And we got to talk about Munster too.
Oh,
going on in Munster. There's
what are you doing up there, Munster?
Seems to be quite the upheaval.
Yeah, shenanigans.
Shenanigans is a good word for it.
I do have to say though, having been in Dyer, you got to be careful on the Friday show about trash talk in other places because next thing you know. But I
think we're just going to report on the facts.
We are, but I always say there's always been the joke between Dyer and Munster about who's better, Dyer and Dyer. But yeah, it seems like there's a
what the hell is going on moment in Dyer. What the hell is going on in Munster?
All you got to do
we'll delve into that a little bit.
Police, parks, and paving, the 3 Ps of municipal governance. Those you do those 3 things and you're fine. And
I think the parks director is still on the job. He's probably one of the only ones left. Everyone else seems to have exited. But we'll get to that when we come back after this break. Got to pay the bills. This is the voice.
For over 100 years, Roofers Local 26 has been keeping Northwest Indiana dry and safe. Since 1919, our highly trained members have built a reputation for skills, safety, and reliability. With a 4-year apprenticeship and certifications in OSHA safety, first aid, and CPR, we deliver quality you can trust. When you need roofing done right, choose Roofers Local 26, protecting what matters most for over a century. For more information, visit www.roofers26.com.
Introducing Powers Health, a health system with a new name and a strong legacy of caring for families in our community. One with a tradition of advanced specialized services and a vision for the future. One with a commitment to medical excellence and compassionate care. Everything we do, everything we believe, powers health.
When your home needs help, the last thing you need is a faceless corporation or sales-driven franchise. At Myers Companies, we've been proudly local since 1951, born and raised right here in Northwest Indiana. We're family-owned and operated, built on trust, hard work, and integrity. And because we're family, we treat you like family. Your comfort and safety always come first. For HVAC, plumbing, and electrical done right, choose Myers Companies. Local, family-owned, here for your family.
Ogren Insurance, Hammond's oldest family-owned independent insurance agency, now in its third generation providing clients in the Chicago area with products from quality insurance companies to handle your every need. Regardless of driving history, Ogren Insurance can find the right coverage for you at competitive prices. To learn more about the insurance solutions and services we offer throughout Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan, call 219-933-0076 or visit our website, ogreninsurance.com. We're located at 6929 Homan Avenue in Hammond, Indiana. Do business locally with someone you know and trust.
From June 26th through 28th, Central Park in Griffith will host the Country Music Tribute Festival, featuring tribute performances inspired by artists such as Johnny Cash, George Strait, Morgan Wallen, Carrie Underwood, Tim McGraw, and more. The event invites families to enjoy on-site food and drinks on the lawn, with fireworks planned for Friday and Saturday nights. Best of all, admission is free. Don't miss out.
Crazy Kaplan's Fireworks.
Hi, I'm Greg Kaplan. Most of you know me as Crazy Kaplan. I started in the basement of my house with the vision of someday running my own fireworks business. Crazy Kaplan's Fireworks prides itself on taking care of you, the customer. Our largest fireworks store is located at Exit 5, Klein, and 8094 in Hammond. These showrooms right now are jam-packed. Because we import and buy volume, we can offer fireworks at huge savings and pass it on to the customer. Our selection will blow you away. As the saying goes, stack them deep, sell them cheap. Just like Papa Sam used to say, make the customer happy. The best selection of rockets, mortar shells, aerials, firecrackers, fountains, and family assortments. Come see us at Crazy Kaplan's Fireworks. We promise to make you our next #1 customer.
Crazy Kaplan's Fireworks.
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people is a smile.
Thank you.
Strachan Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
Welcome back to Region Rundown with Bob and Brent.
I'm Brett.
I'm Bob.
You just did it for both of us.
I did.
Come on, man. We got a system
I'm sorry.
here.
I'm
Stick
sorry.
to the
We got
system.
something good, and then Adriana's going to pop on and be like, Adriana!
I'm here.
Yeah, that'll get screen capped, me doing the flailing with my hands. We did not do traffic and weather because we looked outside and we
sent the weather dog out.
Yeah, sent the weather dog out.
He's still
came
dry.
Back, yes, came back dry, so he's good.
I'm going to find a clip of Louis Grizzard doing that bit, and it's going to crack you up.
Okay.
I might be able to find it here.
So, Adriana, how are the roads looking?
Yeah, so we do got an accident on. Whoop, hold on. ABC weather, not weather. Traffic is acting up. Here we go. We got an accident on the right shoulder on I-80. Whoop. Please, can I see the accident on the right shoulder? Here we go. Accident on the right shoulder, I-80, 94, east before Broadway, and that was reported and updated about 4 minutes ago. It's not causing any major delays, maybe about 5 minutes of delays. But it could change. So just be sure to keep
delay.
an eye out on that. And we do got a rolled over semi on the Bishop 4. 2 right lanes are blocked. West before 115th Street, exit 66B. That was reported and updated about 6 minutes ago. Semi is in a ditch on the right. That could be expected for delays up to 20 minutes. So be sure to keep that in mind. But other than that, everything's looking good. 90 going east and west is looking good. Chicago Skyway, Dan Ryan is looking good. And the rest of 80 going east and west is looking good, just not that part on Broadway. And then in terms of weather, it is 61 degrees outside. We're going to get a high of 69, a low of 61 today. Just cloudy weather for the day as we move into Saturday. Highs of 74 degrees, lows of 61. Pleasant with periods of sun and partly cloudy. And then the heat wave starts. We are seeing highs in the 90s from Sunday through Saturday. So it looks like we are going to have a beautiful 4th of July. Now, as in terms of here in the studio. Good luck, guys.
I don't think so. I just
No, thank you.
rebuilt WJOB Southern Command in South St. John. We spent a few days rebuilding a studio down there, and so sorry, producers, I'm going to be remoting in from now on because. Yeah, we got a space there. For those of you traveling southbound on Indianapolis at 45th, if you're going to be heading south and turning right onto 45th, it looks like it's slowed down a little bit. For those folks that say, hey, what about 30 and 41? Well, it looks like, Indianapolis 4th. It's the stupidest update I can give, but for those folks interested in
It's
local
not a stupid
stuff.
update. It's important. Maybe somebody was looking for that one.
Yeah, people that listen to the station here in Indiana, not the Bishop, whatever. Hey,
One thing we left out on traffic: the South Shore line is closed today.
well,
Is it just in one direction or both directions? They got to have it shut down in both directions, right? With all the heavy equipment up there, the whole thing is closed.
I would have to assume so.
I'm not going to be able to hop on and get to Notre Dame on the double track.
No,
no.
Not today.
Man,
maybe not
ruins
a
my
regular
whole day.
This is so weird. So Jed's always like, hey, we're here to do radio. I don't want to do TV. I don't want to do broadcast, any of that stuff. But I'm here looking at this, and I feel like there's a big gap between us. But if I get too close to you, man, this just feels
Fat
weird.
guys at a little table.
Oh, speaking of fat guys in the little table, look at my shirt. It looks like a tablecloth at an Italian restaurant.
I was going to say a 4th of July picnic.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Oh, I do love a 4th. Oh. Anyways, we want to give a shout out to Trucker Mike because
yeah, absolutely. That was
reasons.
the drone footage you saw earlier was from Trucker Mike's, and you can go to his page. He came out and did a little interview with me at the Griffith Blues Fest after we won a major award. We won an award, so he came over, but he was like, hey, check my page out, and he had great. He takes still photos as well, but he had great photos. I think he was at Dyer one day.
Yeah.
Just that's something that I think is cool that he's going out and taking these photos and using his drone. His page is Mike's Air to Ground Video, but obviously he's got the train derailment on there. But you go through his page, it's lots of just fun stuff around the community, which I think we should do more of.
Have drone will travel.
And
hey,
go ahead.
No, I was just saying we got some callers.
Okay, let's take a caller.
At 219-845-1100. If you don't call in, you got to hear us talk. So why don't you do that? Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. How you doing?
Hey, wonderful. How are you?
Hey, first thing I want to say is we got to mention. I mean, Paul Goddard. He's got everything up there. He's got about okay. First of all, say maybe Dave Gearman to call in and talk about it, but Haven House took a beating yesterday from that storm.
Yes.
And
yes.
Mike,
that's on my list to get to.
On Paul Goddard's news, he's explaining, and there's an explanation of how many people just come out. It's just like when somebody has an emergency, a situation comes up. It's amazing how this radio station, everybody listens to it and just comes out and supports people, So maybe Dave would talk. I don't want to say anything about it. Let Dave experience it. But yesterday, when I went and I went and filmed some other stuff too after the storm. But when I was at the train situation, those three guys that were there, I didn't know one was a big official from the South Shore, and he's standing by me when I take the drone up, and I went up, boom, 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 come down. He says, "You're done?" I says, "Yeah, I do what I got to do, and I'm down." He goes, "That was quick." And I said, "Well, I did what I got to do, And then he explained, but he explained the whole situation of how it happened, what happened, but I'm not going to express it and say it because, maybe he'll put a statement out on a letter and explain the situation that happened, because I don't want to get the story wrong, or Paul Goddard's got so much news. But the thing is, one of my friends, we still haven't heard, I don't know if you guys have gotten any reports yet, but one of my friends that works in Gary right off of 94 and Grant Street, they didn't get power back on until 2 o'clock yesterday. But I was just curious of how much more people are still without power today.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot. There's some people that they were told yesterday that power won't come on for 3 days.
Wow,
Right
yeah.
now,
I mean, there was a lot of lines down in Griffith yesterday, I know for sure, because I was over there in it.
The latest number is about 4,500. A little over half of those are still in Griffith. So
Paul Goddard on his page has the full good explanation of how the South Shore trains are running. It's, I guess, something like a holiday, and
actually, Mike, as you say that, I've got that. He just sent it to me. It will operate.
Yeah, Paul Goddard explained it real good,
So basically what's going to go on, the South Shore line is going to run on their holiday weekend schedule today, and bus service is replacing the trains between Miller and Hegewisch while crews continue their work. Passengers traveling eastbound or westbound will transfer to buses at the following stations: Miller, Gary Metro, Gary Chicago Airport, East Chicago, Hammond Gateway, and Hegewisch. The buses will follow the published South Shore train schedule and make all the stops between Miller and Hegewisch. However, riders should expect delays due to the bus bridge operation. And of note, if you're going to throw your bike on the train and get into the city, you are unable to put a bike on a bus. So,
yeah. Hey,
I'm sorry.
I got a question.
It's just funny.
I mean,
I got a question to ask you, Brett.
Yes, sir.
I'm probably going to come out either today or I'll probably try today, because I've got to go to my retina doctor. I got 2 more eye checkups. I have to wear. Monday I got my new glasses, so now I have to wear glasses the rest of my life, and I got to get used. I got bifocals. I went down the stairs of my house. I got to remember to look down a little further so I don't fall. But I got a question to you. Okay, if I come there today and I go to Big Frank's booth and I just get a pulley sausage, nothing on it, no bun, no nothing, and I bring it over to your booth, will you put it in the bun for me, and can I put ketchup and mustard and everything on it?
I'll let you put everything but ketchup. I have a no ketchup on sausage. Bob and I have discussed this at length, and I think we should make it a weekly topic.
Yeah,
but
weekly weeder talk.
But yeah, he's gonna have a better bun. But you come over and I'll put some barbecue sauce on it. We put some coleslaw down in Alabama. We call them slaw dogs.
I'll just get a plain pulley sausage from Big Frank. Bring it over to you. You'll put it on the bun, and then you always have your stuff sitting out by your trailer, Yeah. But now I'm going to let you go so other people can call in and talk about other situations and good stuff. But to the listeners, not Paul Goddard, Region News Source, which is Paul. I do good events, and I like to show good stuff going on. Paul reports the news. Me, I report good stuff. I like to show people having a good time. Paul reports the good stuff. So we're totally 2 different kind of people. He does the news, and I do the events. But I got Bob and Brett, I have a question to ask you.
Yes, sir.
And I wonder if they get in this area and they have them, producer, my wife told me to tell you she's in the kitchen and tune-in's not working yet.
Okay,
I forgot
we'll address that.
Okay, but it was on the news last week. I'm not going to talk about everybody in the chat's getting tired of me mentioning about a certain hot dog, so I'm not going to talk about that no more. People are getting mad about that. But they have Mountain Dew donuts going to be coming out. So, Brett.
Wait, did you say Bob, Mountain Dew donuts?
Mountain Dew donut.
That scratches a particular redneck itch.
Are you going to eat?
Yeah.
Are you gonna try a Mountain Dew hot dog? I mean Mountain Dew donut?
So Mike, I'll tell you, I don't drink soda. My one occasional vice soda is a Diet Mountain Dew. I love Mountain Dew. So yes, I will absolutely be eating a Mountain Dew donut. We might even do it here on the air.
That sounds so disgusting.
Everybody out there, have a good, safe day. Be safe, and I'm going to let you go, and everybody just have a nice, wonderful day.
Hey, you have a good one, too.
Fantastic.
Like you said, be safe or live with reckless abandon.
And while Mike was talking about, big shout out to my friend Stan over at Big Frank's Sausage, the Sausage King of Northwest Indiana. I saw Stan when he was setting up at the same time I was yesterday afternoon. We will both be out at Griffith's Country Music Festival. I'm going to run through the lineup right here because this looks like fun. This is one we've never done. This is a first year for it. It's in Central Park in Griffith, which is a great setup. What was really interesting, and I'm not picking on you here, Bob, but they have done so much work in that park over the years from when we started 10 years ago. There's all that rain, it was completely dry yesterday. Yeah. They've really engineered it well. But the fun lineup, Friday today at 5 o'clock, Mr. Countryman, which in the Facebook discussion seems to be a country version of Mr. Funny Man, which is the Pink Floyd.
Mr. Funny Man is fantastic.
What's their other?
They're Echoes, aren't they?
Echoes of Pompeii.
Yeah.
Then they do Mr. Funny Man, which is non-Pink Floyd music, and apparently they're going to run some country music. But those guys are all incredible musicians. 7 p.m., the one I am really looking forward to, a fellow Alabama boy, family tradition, the Hank Williams Jr. tribute. And 9 to 11 is Neon 90s, a tribute to 90s country. Saturday is Laney Nation, a tribute to Laney Wilson. 6 o'clock is Terry Lee Goffey, the Johnny Cash tribute. If you have never seen Terry Lee Goffey, you will be blown away. He is, I mean, it is like you're seeing Johnny Cash. He for years he's done the Sunday at Rock and Rail, and he has the Blackwood Brothers or the Blackwood Quartet, who is used to sing with Elvis, and they do a gospel show, and then he does his Johnny Cash, and he is spot on. 8 o'clock, Straight Country tribute to George Strait. I'm going to be really upset if I don't get an Amarillo by morning. 10 o'clock is Wallen Nation, the Morgan Wallen tribute. Sunday, 3 o'clock is Ashland, and from 4 to 8:30, the Icons of Country, featuring tributes to Carrie Underwood, Zach Brown, Tim McGraw, and Kenny Chesney. Bring your chairs in. We've got all kinds of food vendors there. I know Huck's is going to be there doing their lemonades. Big Frank. I'm there. There was a new truck yesterday that I hadn't seen before called Spuds, which looks like fun stuff on potatoes. But we'll have all the normal food vendors will be out there. Bring your chairs. You can't bring any coolers in, but they have beer and wine for sale. I think it'll be a fun time, and I think this will be a start of a new good tradition here in Griffith. And that's
good job, Griffith.
Yeah,
I think we have
Rick
a caller.
Rife has done a good job with his festivals.
He does.
He has good acts. They've really. I mean, with the first festival we ever did, the first year I was open, and I didn't really get it. But that was I'd never done a festival, so we have honed it over the years. But that's was the Blues Fest back in 2016, which I think was probably the first year. But they've continued to revise it and make upgrades to that park, and it's a fantastic place to get out and see.
Good on you, Rick Rifa.
All right. Do you want to take calls?
I do. I'd love to take calls at 219-845-1100. Again, Hey, how's it going?
Adriana, are you there?
I am.
What's your email address?
I can put it in the chat. Are you wanting us to put something on the airways?
Yeah, I got a picture for you of that microburst forming from my back porch.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh wow, that'd be great.
And it's a gnarly picture. But when I email it to you, just please don't display my email address. I'm not trying to be popular. Believe me.
Any more popular than you already are.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll put it in the chat for you, so that way you could just copy and paste it.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'll send it to you. Like I said, you can display it. It's probably the coolest picture I've ever took. This is in South Dyer, looking north when this thing is forming. And yeah, I'll email it to you and show you guys. It's pretty cool there.
Sounds good. All right, that is getting sent in the chat.
We had this new camera, this new weather camera that we've got up at the police station there on 30 and Hart. Again, now that we've got it up there, we're just trying different angles, trying different things. We got a really cool picture of this cloud shelf coming in during that storm. That was pretty cool. Okay, any weather photos to display? So for any of you amateur cloud sleuths out there, send it in too.
Yeah, there you go. So all right, I'm sending it. See ya.
All right, have a good one.
All right, we got few more. Did you want to?
Yeah, let's take some more.
Bring them through. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Well, I hope Griffith didn't lose any of their beautiful trees in their Central Park. I mean, it's a beautiful park setting, old growth oak trees and so forth.
I didn't
have any idea about that.
I didn't see any trees down in the park. There was a bunch of those big old oaks down on Broad Street itself, though. So yeah, I mean, that whole, those kind of trees sort of flow throughout that town. But the park looked fine. I mean, I didn't see any. I didn't examine every bit of it, but the main part of the park where the festivals are and the sidewalks and the pavilion and stuff, all those big trees were fine, which is good.
I was watching the Discovery Channel last night, and they featured mainly weather chasers, mainly in the Tornado Alley, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, down to Oklahoma and so forth. I wonder, they kept referring to these guys as certified storm chasers, and they identified themselves as professionals and making a living off of it. Any idea as to how those crazy people actually make a living off of chasing after tornadoes?
I would assume it's probably
selling footage, right?
I was going to say sponsorships, selling footage, and depending on what their social media presence is, they probably sell advertisement on whatever channel they have. If they've got a YouTube channel, I'm sure there's some sponsorships or ad selling that way. I've never quite understood. Well, let me take that back. I get how folks make money on social media. I just, man, you really got to push to to make any type of quote living money on.
Well, I know there's someone that can probably send me a text and explain the intricacies of that.
He's not going to give away his secrets.
Well, I mean, but he said there's certified. There's probably some organization. I know. I saw him. It was a storm a while back, and he was meeting up with some guys, and they were like driving a tank.
Yeah,
like it's like an armored car. Like we're taking this into the eye of the storm.
And really, it's just 30 and 55. but yeah, okay. So
maybe there's somebody out there in the audience who knows.
I do just want to interrupt for a second. Paul Goddard did mention in the chat that yes, their video brokers will sell their video. So someone out there is buying.
Well, they're taking pictures. That's one of the big things. They like to get in real close. That's what they keep saying. We got to get there close. Get close. Snapping pictures and hoping that the tornado doesn't turn on them, kind of thing. Last night, I think also it was last night on Fox. Oh, by the way, as a Chicago area politician, have you gotten any invitation to attend Obama's presidential center?
I have not.
Part of it.
And I tell you, every day I go to my mailbox, and I am saddened that I don't have
I look forward to it. I've been to a
invitation.
I'm a presidential library nerd. I've been to both Bushes, LBJ's, Ronald Reagan's.
Man, LBJ,
Carter's,
what a
Jimmy
wicked,
Carter's.
awful president. Person.
But I'll tell you this, is because one of my friends was commenting on how this Obama thing is ugly and it looks terrible. I don't really remember how any of them looked on the outside when I visited them. The LBJ one was the coolest.
Really?
You know why? Inside of the museum, there is an exact, like, down to every detail replica of the Oval Office as he used it. And to be able to walk in, they'll let you sit down at the desk. It's a really interesting feeling. And I found his it's in Austin. His museum was the most interesting to me. But
Sorry, Walt. We went off on a Oval Office tangent.
Fox had a guy who normally does man on the street interviews kind of thing. They're normally in New York, but this time they sent him out to the site of the Obama Presidential Center, and they interviewed on the grounds. They didn't go inside, but on the grounds. All the people they interviewed were black. Most of them were, and it was interesting. When they were asking, well, what do you think about that? They would kind of glance at the outside, and they would very often want to talk about the inside. Well, the inside looks real nice, and they have this, and they have that. Generally, or they would make a comment like, seems they need to do a little more on the outside kind of thing.
Well,
and
I think I give you it's an unusual looking building. I watched it as sometimes I'll drive.
I mean, you even look at their official portraits, and they're kind of weird.
It was I believe, and I might not be accurate on this, but I believe that it's built like that in the brutalist architecture style, which is that's a very Chicago thing. There's a lot of examples of classic brutalist architecture in Chicago. So I think that's you get no argument from me. It's a weird looking building, I think Jimmy Carter's looks like a farmhouse, right? I mean, it's not a.
It probably was a farmhouse.
I don't. Yeah.
Could be. I've never been to any.
From Georgia. You really?
I've never been.
You know, they're really. I'm a museum guy anyway, but presidential museums are really interesting. I mean, they'll have, and I know this is super nerdy, but most of them have like each president gets his own china. I don't know if you've ever been to the Smithsonian. You can buy pieces of china. Growing up in the South, my mom was like a big china person, but they'll every president gets a different set of forks and knives, right? Like they design them or they pick them out, and it's the Bush presidential place setting. Just things like that you don't think about. I'm going to go see Kennedy and learn about the Cuban Missile Crisis, but really you're going to learn now what his couch looked like and how he lived his life normally, which I think is fascinating to me. So definitely
There you go.
There you go. Look at that.
It's definitely a weird building.
Here, if you want to move to the side, I can zoom in on that for them.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. The power of television.
Power of YouTube. You guys want to see WJLB 1230 at YouTube.com.
So I mean, it's interesting, right? I mean, it's not when you see it, you're like, wow, what is that? It's not like any other nondescript building.
It looks like the evil lair from every Men in Black movie ever.
Of course it does.
It does. I don't know. Hey,
while we're talking about
it's your $850 million. You do what you want with it, I suppose.
Well,
and it started out the original ticket price was in the $200 million range, and it tripled.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
On Tom's show, they had a sequence where people called in and suggest what the thing looked like. I thought it looked like one of Hitler's flak towers that he built up around Berlin to defend Berlin against American and British bombers. There was a black guy one of the few black guys that was interviewed. What's the name of that thing in England? It's a circle of slabs of
Stonehenge. Been there.
Stonehenge. There was one guy said it looks like Stonehenge kind of thing. And the one black guy was asked, what do you think was Obama's greatest accomplishment? And he said, being black. So the guys were a little bit to the point. The ladies were evasive and suggested the inside was better to look at than the outside, and maybe a thing or two needed to be done on the outside. But are you planning to maybe even tour the grounds just to see what it looks like?
I'll definitely go. I mean, I'm not going to go anytime soon. Give it a year or so I don't want to go to a crowd. But I mean, anytime I've traveled and I've been somewhere where there's a presidential museum and I had time to go, I'll go visit it. I mean, it's just, to me, it's just part of American history, whether it's a funny looking building or not. I don't.
Well, right.
Here's one other thing too. When you said folks were, they were looking for the good in it, so they were saying, "Oh, the insides look great," and then the question goes, "Well, what do you think about the outside?" And they say, "Well, you got to go through the outside to get to the inside, which looks amazing." And so they're something that I just find very funny because it is beyond hypocritical of that president, that entire party, that entire side of the thing. You need a photo ID to get in to the library.
Yes.
And right. I kind of went LOL to that because, not to vote for the guy. You can just, collect those signed ballots from a homeless encampment somewhere, and you're fine there. But to get into the library, you need a photo ID. So that's my hypocritical, thing of the week. You had to sign up. You had to, then verify who you were before you could go into this presidential library. So quite literally, everything you need to do, you need to have an ID, and everybody's okay with it, except for voting. You don't need one of those.
Voting.
Just come on in.
Because they're cheating, obviously. I grew up in East Chicago, and when I hear these Democrats saying, "Oh, no, that never happens."
Yeah.
What a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? 2008, one of the Gary precincts had like 104% voter turnout.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the hypocrisy, for example, the Democrats are always yelling about...
Brent's over here. If you're not watching, Brent's over here rolling his eyes. We haven't even gotten to talk about how the election was stolen in 2020.
Yeah. Well, the 1960 presidential election was stolen from Nixon. I mean, it was stolen in.
Oh, that was when
Chicago and Texas.
Yeah, Dad Kennedy made a last minute call to Chicago and said, "Hey, we need a couple more union votes." And
but boy, Nixon achieved his redemption.
No, they dealt with the mafia.
He got elected the next time and became just a great president.
He did. He did. Kennedy would have been a Republican today. Actually, I think Kennedy now, half of Kennedy's stuff is to the right of MAGA, so he wouldn't have been,
Well, did you see? Fine. Actually, I saw this. J.D. Vance yesterday said, "I don't understand why people are up in arms in Nixon. That's just a 12-hour news cycle today. I can't believe they took the presidency away from him."
to be fair for him, he's not wrong. Whatever
right,
you think
but that's
Nixon,
a terrible commentary on our society.
Oh, it is.
Right?
But whatever you think Nixon may or may not have done, he
was a crook.
That is just a blip.
What the vice president says, it's okay to be a crook.
Yeah, well,
it's not a big deal to be a crook now.
Yeah, now
Nixon wasn't a bad guy. He should have never gotten in trouble, even though the Republicans.
Well, when the media
the
talks about that,
and said we're gonna vote you out.
Yeah.
Well, when the media covers the Watergate scandal and so forth, they never tell the truth about it. They imply that it was connected to the election, that they were breaking into the DNC's offices to help their election cause. No. I mean, McGovern was a loser from the moment the Democrats put him up. What the point of it was looking for leaks on Nixon's efforts to achieve a negotiated settlement in Indochina. They would contact governments that the United States didn't even have dealings with. They were hostile to assist and try to get a deal going. And 2 days later, it appeared on the front pages of the New York Times and the Washington Post. What they were called the plumbers because they were there to look for a leak in the Nixon administration's efforts to achieve a settlement. It was nothing to do with the election. Nixon had won the election, and of course, when the votes were taken, he won 49 states. For goodness sakes, I mean, but that's the media for you. A bunch of Democrats, and what can you expect anything other than that?
What you doing this weekend, Walt?
Well, there's going to be a big festival in downtown Valparaiso. It's something new. Supposed to be. I'm not an artist, but I do support the arts, and so I'll be checking that new festival out. They're supposed to have lots of great artists and other stuff, and something. I always like to check out something new, whether it be an event like that or something a new restaurant in the area, especially if it's reviewed by the papers. The people who do those restaurant reviews are generally pretty reliable in terms of relating the strengths of restaurants. So historically, if I read about it in the one of the papers, Post Tribune or Times, I'll go and check it out to see whether it's whether it was worthwhile.
If it lives up.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for calling.
There's lots of good restaurants in Dyer.
I'm sorry?
Oh,
you dropped them. That's okay. Anyways, have a good weekend, Walt. It is 6:58 in the region. We're going to take a break. We'll be back at the top of the hour with traffic and weather and news until 8.
I was going to say, do you want to show the photo real quick?
Do you got that up?
I do have the photo, yes.
That's really cool.
It looks like aliens are coming down.
It could be. No, that's a cool shot.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, thanks for sending that in. Whoa.
Yeah. This house looks terrified.
Yeah. That is a pretty cool shot. Like I said, we had something similar. For those of you listening on the radio, as we're all just silently staring at a picture, I know this does no good for you. But check us back out on the YouTube, and you'll see some of these pictures of the storm the other day. Pretty cool. So that's what we got, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
It's gold rush time at Albert's. Oh, looky here! Oh, those are gonna fetch a pretty penny.
But who's gonna buy them from us?
I'll buy that gold from you.
What did you say?
I said I'll buy that gold from you, and I'll give you top dollar.
That sounds great.
It's gold rush time. We will see you at Albert's.
Life's biggest challenges don't come with a warning. When legal issues arise, whether it's a car accident, personal injury, criminal charge, or representing you before municipal boards, you need a trusted advocate on your side. At Westland & Bennett, we listen first because your story matters. We provide strategic, personalized legal solutions to protect your rights, your freedom, and your future. Peace of mind starts with a conversation. Call 219-440-7550 today for a free consultation.
Fox Point's free summer Wednesday night concert series kicks off June 3rd with 16 candles. As June heats up, dance to Rico, Boy Band Night, and the Chicago Experience. Then join us for our first free Friday Night Lights concert featuring Fearless, a Taylor Swift tribute, and Beyond the Blonde on June 26th. Fox Point in Lansing, Illinois is just minutes from I-8094 and parking is free. Visit foxpoint.org for our full schedule. That's point with an E, foxpoint.org.
We've had some cars run into the barrier wall, not paying attention. They were on their phone.
Texting, scrolling. Yeah, it's bad.
Most often they be on their phones or they're just not paying attention. They can cause a crash.
We could stand on the side of the road and watch every other vehicle looking down into their lap as they're passing us. You know what they're looking at. They're looking at their phone.
Phones. On their phones, not paying attention.
Phones.
I'm not a mathematician, but I say probably about 80% of the people who pass me are on their telephones.
No call, text, or video is worth putting yourself or a road worker in danger. When driving through construction, LIUNA members ask you for your sake and ours.
Slow down, stay off your phone, please. Be aware where we're at, where the cone zones are at.
Stay off your phones and buckle up and drive safe.
We're not asking for much.
This is Brian Short, Business Manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Welcome back to Region Rundown. I'm Bob.
And I'm Brent.
And I'm Adriana.
And you're listening to WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in beautiful Hammond, Indiana, streaming live on the YouTubes worldwide. What you got for traffic and weather? Wow, you are like zooming in on things that should not be zoomed in on. Wow.
Well, because you guys are doing kind of a History Channel thing where you're like, okay, and now let's look at the screen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I had it real zoomed out,
okay.
But then we had to get you guys back in frame. But let's take a look at that traffic and weather. We do have blockage due to the storm still on Broad Street between Glen Park Avenue and 45th Avenue. And that was updated about 25 minutes ago. So there's going to be about delays up to 5 minutes, but that is somewhere on those local lanes. There's still that storm damage. We saw that yesterday on the air. We got those pictures up as well. If you guys want to see that on our Instagram, WJOB1230, because we got to plug everything, guys. So take a look at the other roads that everybody is trying to get to know. Hey, is there traffic? 65 going north and south is looking good. 80 going east and west is looking good. 90 going east and west is looking good. So Chicago Skyways. We still have that rollover semi. 2 right lanes blocked on the Bishop Ford. I-94 west before 115th Street, exit 66B. That was reported and updated about 9 minutes ago. Again, that is a semi in the right ditch. Expect delays up to 20 minutes. As you head into the city, Dan Ryan is looking pretty good. And we do have a slow on the inbound ramps to Dan Ryan on Stevenson I-55 north before I-94, exit 292. And we were told that nobody likes the Eisenhower or Stevenson. But they're looking great if anybody cared. They're looking pretty good.
Yeah.
And then for weather, as we were discussing off the air, today we're seeing highs of 69 degrees, lows of 61, mainly cloudy and showers around later tonight as we head into some partly cloudy weather. Saturday, highs of 74, lows of 61, pleasant with periods of sun and partly cloudy weather. As we head into Sunday, the start of the heat wave, where Bob was like, I am remote.
Yeah.
Sunday, start going all the way ranging through Saturday for your 4th of July weekend. We are seeing 90-degree weather, so it is optimal beach weather for people that are looking to go, since it's been raining and storming all this time. Sunday, we are seeing some humidity. Next Sunday, we're seeing humidity and some thunderstorms, so to that beautiful weather. Don't worry, there's still some rain happening here in Northwest Indiana. That's all for your traffic and weather.
I know. I feel more educated.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I don't got
The
screen
South
back
Shore is
here.
on a holiday schedule, and you can't take your bikes on a bus.
Yeah, I don't know why I
Yeah, I
found
mentioned
that
that.
to be funny, other than I just...
So I mean, think about it. You
Let's
put your
spend
bike
it.
on and go right around downtown Chicago without having to ride all the way to Chicago. That's pretty cool. Right along the lake and stuff. It's cool to me, Bob, not to you.
I'm glad we spent $1 billion so you could ride your bike around Chicago.
Hey, is Dave on?
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
let's hear from Dave. Bring him on.
Good morning.
Good morning, team. How we doing?
Doing good, Dave. How are you today?
Bob?
Good morning.
Exhausted.
I can imagine.
It's been a really a tough couple days at Haven House. I know Jed announced it the other day, but we had some issues at the shelter, our emergency shelter, during the storm. We had a large tree uprooted, and it hit the house and compromised the roof and broke windows and ripped the gutters down, and we're no power, so we had to evacuate all 22 of our clients and children and relocate them to safe areas and hotels in the area. And it's been a challenging. It's like you can deal with one. You can deal with the roof getting hit and isolate that room, right? But you just, when you don't have power, you're dead in the water. So if you want to indulge me, there's a lot of people I would like to thank. First of all, the city of Hammond, because this was one of those cases we had so much rain, and it was a big old tree in a parkway. And, most of the parkways you see in the city, they're like 8 feet deep grass with a big tree in it.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just soaked, and it went over, no different than a lot of the trees you see in Dyer and Highland and especially Griffith that I drove through yesterday. Hammond was out there, so thank you, Mayor McDermott and the Streets and Sand and Hammond. They came out and removed the tree on city property on the sidewalk and in the streets that early that morning. So thank you. We're still responsible for removing the tree from the house to evaluate the structure. And there's just the power's still out, but there's a few people, if you'd give me a minute, I'd like to thank. First of all, our executive director, Carrie Greer. She's been there the whole time when they didn't have power, and I just can't thank her enough. Jenny Winker, who's going to be our new president at the end of the month. Leslie Lucas, our physical manager. Ebony Jackson, our house manager, our client service manager. Luce, our house manager. Gina Lowry, who she wears about 3 hats there. She's our graphic designer and PR. So Paul Goddard for putting this out. Can't thank Paul enough. BMW of Cherville for standing up. John Southsider Family Charities. Dave Kuziak, I know he was super, super busy yesterday, but he had his crew come out and at least tarp the roof off. Joe Gorky came right out. He's a tree removal specialist. He removed the trees. And Brent, thank you so much for offering lunch to the crew that was there. And there's just so many people to thank. The region really came together on this one. And, we're still going through it. To relocate our clients to other hotels and areas is just astronomical price-wise, because we have to pay, put their safety first. So we have to protect them and their children. So not having the power is tough. We gave away as much food as we can, but we're probably out $1,000. The freezers are out. $1,000 worth of food. Now we're looking to get contractors in to evaluate the windows that are out, the screens that are out. So it's, and all of this started 10 o'clock at night, and we've been going at it the whole time. So I just want to thank everyone on that list, and thank WJOB and Northwest Indiana Times and Post Tribune, and there's just not enough people. There's not enough time for me to thank everyone that I would love to thank that have gone to our website and donated, knowing the situation we're in, have written checks for us to cover, to cover some of the cost of housing our clients. And this also we have a responsibility when we intake clients and their children for transportation to and from school, summer schools, and to and from stores, and to and from drugstores that to get their medication. So it's been a challenge over the last 48 hours, that's for sure. And I just want to thank all three of you.
Oh, Dave, you've served that organization wonderfully over the years, and thanking me for giving out food is nothing. That's just it was just a little. Those guys that are out there doing the heavy lifting deserve the credit. I mean, that's thanks to Dave and everybody that you mentioned that went out there for such an important organization that provides safety for so many people in a time of need. I think it's I think Trucker Mike said earlier, it's the region coming together and really stepping up, and you just illustrated that point brilliantly. Do you have can you read the link so that if any of our listeners want to donate to help you guys get this thing going?
Sure. It's and thank you. And here's really the godsend. Not one of our kids, not one of our victims, not one of our homeless that we help got one scratch on them. So that's amazing. I am thankful, and our team is thankful. It could have been 10 feet the other way. It could have been horrific, but it didn't. And I'm so grateful that we're there. When we get our clients and they're victimized, and then they finally start getting comfortable in our shelter with our crew and our team and our education and all of our social work, and then to be re-victimized like this, it's heartbreaking. To be uprooted again, it's in situations like this, individuals do suffer from PTSD. I want to make that perfectly clear. So we try to make that transition again to a safer location as comfortable and secure, and as possible, and being very sensitive to the fact where they are and now where they're going. So thank you. Yes, you can go to Haven House. D as in David, V as in Victory, S as in Sam, DVS.org. There's a big donate button there, and you can see our wish list and our thank yous to a lot of people. And the rest of our executive board has done an amazing job. And I got a call from Luke Brands yesterday from Terrence Fife. So it's we're moving forward, and I don't have an answer for anyone who says, hey, when do you plan on, what's your plan? What's your timeline? I don't know till the power comes on and Kuziak Construction can come back and reevaluate the roof, which they put on the new roof during COVID in 2020 because that was compromised in another situation. So I can't thank Dave enough. He got out there, and I just can't. Construction workers and roofers and streets and sanitation workers and firefighters, I can't imagine what they've gone through over the last 48 hours other than a lot of sleepless nights. So I just want to thank all of you. You can go to havenhouse.dvs.org, or you could call our admin building, which is our administration building, which we also house 2 families there as well in our transitional housing, and that is 219-931-9800. So that's If there, if there's anything you could volunteer, the ground is the yard in the house is our shelter is cleaned, so we have all that. So thank you for so many people that offered to come and clean. Joseph Gorky and his tree company did an amazing job and cleaned everything up. My next call is to George Hushkerson at Hammond Fence, because it did take our fence down. So that's my next call on my punch list this morning, because we need a fence to secure the area, because the situation we're in, we have to have a secured area. So and that's the way we can invite our clients back in once the power comes on and get everything evaluated. So, yeah, those are our two main contacts. Our phone number, 931-9800, and havenhousedvs.org, domesticviolentshelter.org. So thank you all so much. I can't thank you enough. And, yes, the region does come together.
Well, thank you so much for calling. I was perusing the wish list that you guys have out there, so we'll be posting that also. And so it does. The region comes together. So whether you guys are out there, Haven House. HavenhouseDVS.org. You can donate your cash there. You can donate, or if you're so inclined, under the Get Involved tab, there is a wish list that takes you to Amazon, and there is, really just all of the essentials that you have in your home that even sometimes you may not necessarily think of when you have to, get out of that situation quickly and go somewhere else. All of those type of items are on there. Not only stuff for the adults, but there's stuff on there for the kids. Because again,
right.
I would have to assume in some of these situations it's things move very fast, and so think of the truly the women and the children. So again, we'll post that up on ours.
You're right, Bob.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you. You're right. In most situations, when we get the call, if it's a single person or a victim with dependents with children, they might have a chance to get out with a hefty bag.
Yeah.
Of clothes. And we take it from there, all ages, from infants to 17. And you hit the nail on the head. Just open your medicine box, medicine cabinet, or whatever linen closet you have, and the things you look in there. Everything you take for granted every day, you reach and grab, right?
Yeah.
Shampoo, toothpaste. Everything that you just don't think of, and diapers and feminine hygiene, and so socks, right?
Yeah.
So these are the kind of things that we need on a daily basis to get our clients who are victims of domestic violence and their dependents, their children, back on their feet slowly. So thank you for mentioning that, and again, can't thank the region enough.
I was going to say, I do have one question. When it comes into terms of donations, I know some certain charities, they get an amount, a certain item over donated. Is there any items that are over donated that you guys
we don't need any more?
We have plenty of this, yes. Or is it just whatever you guys can, whatever anybody can give?
Yeah, we do. It's one of those situations because we have two different facilities.
Mm-hmm.
So paper towels and toilet paper, we're pretty good with those.
Okay.
But it's the other daily consumables, and of course a lot of that's on our wish list. And for clothing and things, we have we have a guy who donated a dining room table that we use every day in the shelter. So it's things like that, and we work through Hearts in Motion in Cherville. We have a great relationship with them. Any client that comes in and has very, very little for themselves and their children, they get a voucher to go get whatever they want at Hearts in Motion for free, and we provide that transportation to and from. So there's a lot of great organizations in the area. On top of our monthly contributors, we have individuals that donate $25 a month, and they've been doing that for the last 10 years. So these are, and a lot of them just want to stay anonymous. They just want to help, and no amount is too little or too great in not just this desperate time, but 24/7, 365. So any amount is definitely will go to good use. And have to remember, our entire executive board and our executive staff with our treasurer, secretary, president, and our board, we're volunteers. We don't get paid for it. None of us would ever ask for a dime. And this is definitely something that this is what we want to do. And a lot of us feel we have to do it, coming from domestic violence situations ourselves. So yeah, it's an amazing board and staff we have. Thank you for the airtime.
Hey, not a problem.
Thank you enough, and all the contributors. Thank you, and people that are donating, and the compassion. A lot of well-wishers, a lot of shares on social media, and that's really, if you can't give, if you're on social media, just please share it and get it out there. I assure you, this is an amazing organization that's been around for 42 years. We're a 501c3. So you could share our information with 100% confidence that the organization is run professionally and ethically. So thank you.
So we'll get that up on the WJOB pages. I put it up on mine for those of you who are followers of mine out there. I've linked not only the Haven House website, but also their Amazon wish list, so you can click on that. And
Amazon wish list, that's a good way.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, a really good way. And Region, step up, clear the list. I mean, in light of everything that's happening, it sounds like you've got a lot of support. And man, wouldn't that be just a good challenge and a blessing to one day, walk out there in the next few days and have a bunch of Amazon boxes and need to find a place to put them. So Region, try to make that happen.
This is our success is the relationships we've built over that 40 years, be it with the city of Hammond proper, or Hammond PD, or Griffith or Highland PD. We've worked with all these departments and organizations and municipalities, and Lake County. The Lake County Sheriff's Police has always been instrumental, and their domestic crimes unit. We've worked so well together, and they've delivered. Let me tell you. So thank all the municipalities, the departments, police, fire, and the mayors and town councils. So thanks again.
Thank you very much. We're going to take a break at 7:24. We'll be back in a moment.
Crazy Kaplan's Fireworks.
Hi, I'm Greg Kaplan. Most of you know me as Crazy Kaplan. I started in the basement of my house with the vision of someday running my own fireworks business. Crazy Kaplan's Fireworks prides itself on taking care of you, the customer. Our largest fireworks store is located at Exit 5, Klein, and 8094 in Hammond. These showrooms right now are jam-packed. Because we import and buy volume, we can offer fireworks at huge savings and pass it on to the customer. Our selection will blow you away. As the saying goes, stack them deep, sell them cheap. Just like Papa Sam used to say, make the customer happy. The best selection of rockets, mortar shells, aerials, firecrackers, fountains, and family assortments. Come see us at Crazy Kaplan's Fireworks. We promise to make you our next #1 customer.
Crazy Kaplan's Fireworks.
We've had some cars run into the barrier wall, not paying attention. They were on their phone.
Texting, scrolling. Yeah, it's bad. Most often they be on their phones or they're just not paying attention. They can cause a crash.
We could stand on the side of the road and watch every other vehicle looking down into their lap as they're passing us. You know what they're looking at. They're looking at their phone.
Phones. On their phones, not paying attention. Phones.
I'm not a mathematician, but I say probably about 80% of the people who pass me are on their telephones.
No call, text, or video is worth putting yourself or a road worker in danger. When driving through construction, LIUNA members ask you for your sake and ours.
Slow down, stay off your phone, please. Be aware where we're at, where the cone zones are at.
Stay off your phones and buckle up and drive safe.
We're not asking for much.
This is Brian Short, Business Manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Hey Region, I'm T, and I grew up in East Chicago, went to college in Gary, worked out of Munster, and raised my family in Crown Point. I'm Region to the core. I created Region Hot Sauce, the flavor of the region. Add it to chicken, fish, pizza, eggs, and more for the perfect blend of heat and flavor. Visit RegionHotSauce.com for a complete list of locations or to order direct. Region Hot Sauce, the flavor of the region.
Welcome back, Region. This is Region Rundown. I'm Bob.
And I'm Brent.
And I'm Adriana.
I'm going to keep doing that until it becomes a thing.
It is a thing.
It is a thing. We can do traffic and weather really fast. We've got some callers that have been on hold for a bit, and
I want to talk about Munster.
Brent's got some Munster talk, and we're out of here at 8. So
there we go. All right, just a quick little update on traffic and weather. Weather, same thing. It's going to get a little colder tonight. Highs of 61, lows of 61, highs of 69. Tomorrow we're going to see highs in the mid-70s, lows in the mid-60s. Preparing for this heat wave that will be happening from Sunday through Saturday of 90-degree weather. No rain in sight until the following Sunday, but just be prepared for that, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully that all these residents are able to get their power back on in time for this heat wave, so that way they are able to cool down just a little bit. In terms of traffic, 65 going north and south is looking good. 80 going east and west is looking good. That earlier accident on Broadway has seemed to clear up, and it is flowing traffic well. We still have that blockage due to the storm damage on Broad Street in Griffith by Glen Park. And that was updated about an hour ago. Expect delays up to 5 to 10 minutes. Chicago Skyways is looking good. 90 going east and west is looking pretty good. We do have still that rollover semi, right lane blocked on the Bishop Ford, west before 115th Street, exit 66B. And that semi is in the ditch to the right. Expect delays up to 10 minutes as you head up into the city in the connector on the Bishop Ford. Dan Ryan is looking pretty good. Downtown traffic is not looking bad at all. So if you do got to head up to the airports or anything like that, it's looking pretty good for you guys. That's all for your traffic and weather.
let's go right to the phones.
All right.
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
There we go.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Oh, there you go.
You know, there's a thing I got a nickname for your group, and I got a lot to say. But I want to add to what Dave from Gary. At Inland Steel, we had a thing called preventative maintenance. So that means me and my buddy, we would climb towers in the area and tell you which ones are bad before they fell. So we were climbing a pin tower on the railroad, and what had happened was we got about 3/4 of the way up. It was swaying 3 feet this way and 3 feet that way. And we come down, and they said, "What do you think?" We said, "It's going to fall." And it fell in about a week, and we didn't have time to get to it. So as far as Haven House, a preventative maintenance, that means you look around the area, you should have cut that tree. And you should have, the South Shore, should have looked at that telephone pole that derailed that train. Just so one chainsaw and somebody that's very savvy, that knows about inspection reports, could have saved you all that work. And I'm not being mean, by no means. But at our age, you have to know what a tree will do. I notified my neighbor next door. I said, "You need to top that tree." And he said, "For what?" Well, a branch come down. It didn't hit the neighbor's car, but it would kill somebody. And when you start killing people, like as many get killed in the Boilermakers and iron workers in my department, and you see them fall and they get killed, it changes your life. You won't see that. And I'm not picking on Dave from Gary, but you don't see as much as that riding around. And he's got a hard job, as you see in heavy industry, people getting killed. So next time, Dave, look at the area. If you need a chainsaw, it would have been a lot cheaper. Now let's go on to what I might name your group. You guys are the Killer Bees or Beavis and Butthead, what you want to be. I kind of like Beavis and
Pretty
Butthead.
good, MX.
Wow.
Pretty good.
But I think Brent, you would be Butthead, and the other guy would be Beavis. And you know what, Beavis? I almost had Brent to go up there. I almost had Butthead to go up there. And I was going to ask him how long, because he's a Democrat, how long, and I don't care. I don't care about none of that. We hung around together. How long can you stay underwater with your eyes open and not breathe? But let's go to the Obama Center. Something you slip. You slip a lot.
Well, if I was on my game all the time, there'd be no reason for you to call in. So I do this for you.
I understand. I used to have a radio job, and I told the truth for about 3 months, and they asked me to leave. Now, everybody's doing what I do. It's okay to do it now. So what happens is, Beavis, they need to have a GoFundMe for the Obama Center to pay those minority contractors. And what I say about minority contractors, those are the guys that are doing the beautiful work, the beautiful cement work, the beautiful landscaping, the drywall. So what Obama done, he's real slick, okay? He told these minority contractors. He exploited labor, what he did. You seen I had the union rat, photoshopped the union rat in front of the Obama library. What he done, he exploited labor. And it doesn't mean union or non-union, you can still exploit labor. And if I had anything to do with it, if I was Randy Palmatier, I would definitely put a rat up in front of that Obama Center. And the agreement that was made was that the minority contractors could not say a word about what was going on. So they can't really say anything on air. But one guy slipped through, and he said, he's $4 to $5 million in the hole. He come on, I think you've seen him, and it broke his construction company. Now, here's minority contractors that I don't think anybody pours that, they pour a lot of cement and they're good at it. And I think you took advantage of them. Now, let's go for the reason why I call. You know what? I got to thank the city of Hammond for what they're doing. I think they've been on top of it for a while, and I cried a lot about it. But this weekend is going to be another massacre in Chicago. You can't tell me that 8 people die and 40 getting shot is normal. And you have Brandon Johnson, and I know he's got to throw the blame on somebody. So he throws the blame on Richard Nixon. So he's blaming Richard Nixon for the shootings in Chicago. Now, in my lifetime, I've never seen a bad president. Some are better than others. Go to Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter, went for Jimmy Carter, starting up the apprenticeship program. I wouldn't have got to be an apprentice boilermaker and went to night school for 4 years. So when everybody burns Jimmy Carter, I take a step back and say, you know what, this is the reason who I am, and I had money to race dirt bikes. And let's hope I go in the Hall of Fame this year, but I doubt it. So my biggest
We're going to do our best to
guys,
get you in there, buddy.
We will.
Hey, MX, we got a ton of callers waiting. Wrap it up, buddy.
Okay, Beavis and Butthead. I hope I did you right about this. Just stay out of Chicago this weekend, guys. The numbers are up. Thank you very much.
All right, buddy. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Before we get to those, you want to talk about Munster.
Yeah, I think it's this article came out in the Times, the Post Tribune a couple days ago that Dave Westland and Nicole Bennett from Westland and Bennett were resigning. I think Nicole Bennett was the Planning Commission's attorney and Dave was the town attorney.
Right.
But you have some experience with town attorneys. But been the town attorney for about 10 years. And the article reported that there was basically there's a councilman, Jonathan Peterson, who, I mean, basically said he was pushing him out, harassing him to leave. And this has popped up and I was unaware of this. In the last couple of months, the director of public works, the chief of police, the town manager, and now the town attorneys have all resigned. Now, I know the chief is Chief Shekel. I don't know all those other people. I do know Dave Westland pretty well, but the Chief Shekel is a great friend of mine, and I was pretty surprised. He's actually working till the end of the year and retires. Going to retire January 1. I didn't know the town manager, but he's fairly new. I don't even think he's been on the job 2 years yet. I mean, they had a problem with the last town manager when this council came in, and one of the first things they did was fire him, or he resigned.
Which is usually what happens when a whole new council comes in. They want they've got there, and I'm not speaking just to Munster on this. I'm just speaking in general. Is whenever you get a new group of people elected, they've probably spent the last 9 months making promises or commitments to do certain projects that then they need to execute on. And
well, I think that's part of that. You know, Munster got that grant for $17 million to redo Ridge Road,
right.
And then the town spent a bunch of money, I think a couple $1 million, applying for and getting the grant. But this council ran on not fixing anything on Ridge Road. And it was my understanding there's a big debate over 1 lane or 2 lane, but I think there was room to work and still get the grant money and say come up with a plan that fits the grant qualifications that doesn't require Ridge Road going down to 1 lane. But they just said forget it, and so now that money that $17 million is gone, and then they wasted the $2 million getting it, which was the previous council. But then this council said we don't want to do anything.
Yeah, and you would hope, again, I'm going to take a 30,000 foot. You hope that the residents would know that, hey, that money's lost. It was
2 years into this current council, and the town attorney, the chief of police, the town manager, and the director of public works have all left or are leaving. I think you have to ask yourself, what in the hell is going on over there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, with the SB1, Munster's, I think they're facing 1.1, 1.2, somewhere in that range, $1 million less in property tax collected. So you're kind of got to be creative with the budget, and then you lose all the department heads. I mean, what other? I mean, I guess you got a director of parks. What would be the other?
Yeah. So
planning
and
zoning.
Know.
Is that a salaried position?
I see. I don't know how they're set up. I know if so this is a great question.
As a councilman in Dyer,
best place to live 5 years.
And you're well, I think you can speak to this. If over the course of 2-3 months, you lost your city attorney, your town manager, your chief of police, and your director of public works, how would that work for the town functioning? Right.
That would be tough. I mean, it's losing any one of those in an unplanned way would be tough. So, for example, Dave Hine, absolutely vital to the town. Brian Lane, Jeff Dvorak, Director of Operations, Public Works, any one of those guys. If Brian Lane called me up today and said, hey, last night I played the lotto and I just won $500 million. See you later, Dyer. Without any planning. Now, if he said, hey, guys, I'm looking to resign in 1 or 2 years, this is what I'm thinking, we could bring someone in for some knowledge transfer. But to lose, some of these guys like Munster's losing with all that legacy knowledge that knows where every pipe in the ground is, knows where every troubled house is, knows every crack in the sidewalk. To lose that's tough. Munster will survive. They'll be fine. I mean, there's one of the things I had to first learn when I got on the council is nothing's ever done. Nothing's ever done. You don't ever finish paving a road. You don't ever finish a park. There's something.
Well, those things are going to take a lot more time with the people who do them.
It's going to take a much heavier lift, and to have something like that, unless you've got a solid team. And again, I'm not speaking for Munster. I'm just putting this over. If this were to happen in Dyer, all projects are. You've now put another 18 months on any good project, unless something's rolling right now.
So
yeah,
there's no way this is a positive for the town to lose all these people. I mean, first off, just Chief Shekel, and I'll be completely honest. I consider Chief Shekel a great friend. We go hunting a lot, and I think there's no one that cares more and does more for the town of Munster than Chief Shekel. And I mean, I think it's evident in the safety we have in Munster. But for somebody like him to take early retirement and quit, you have to ask yourself what's going on. He's been there a long time through a lot of different councils, a lot of different administrations, and to finally throw your hands up and say this is enough.
And at some point, people do have it's about the environment, not the the money or the salary. Now, what I would say is this is where. This is where the council has the opportunity.
Well, and
to
here's
shine.
the thing: it's 5 Republicans.
That's always
so you would think they would be
though.
working in conjunction, but it seems like this one councilman Peterson is just kind of steamrolling everybody. And I don't know the specifics of the details. I know that in the letter from the article. The Westland and Bennett, that they pretty much said this guy's the reason we're out. He's harassing us. This is not how we're not gonna do our work.
Yeah, and I think any council, there's 1 or 2 council members that seem to be more out front than behind. They are all just 20% of the vote, as much as I'm out here.
But being all in the same party, you think they would have some sort of unified front, and you have to go. What's going on?
What I've found in government and politics is there always needs to be some, not always, but the default for most people who aren't in it for maybe the right reasons. Again, not speaking to Munster, just seeing what I see, sky blue, water wet. It's always easier when there is some friction and something where you can point to the other person. So that's why, a lot of councils that are, say, 3-2 Republican, 2 Democrat, work fairly well because there isn't room for some of this infighting. You're required, if you've only got 3 votes, because first 1 to 3 wins, you have to lock arms in a Roman phalanx, and you have to get along. When you've got 5 all of the same party, that's why sometimes you see so much dysfunction coming out of Indianapolis. They've got a supermajority on each side, so naturally then people get little pockets within there.
And maybe that's what's going on in Munster, but it certainly doesn't look like. It doesn't look like good things are ahead for the town. They've lost.
Yeah, what I worry about
the people that make the trains run on time in the town, right?
Although not the South Shore.
It's an expression, Bob. But I mean, as a councilman, you have a lot of responsibilities. It's those town employees that execute them.
It would be very tough. We just had. In Dyer, an employee appreciation luncheon. We did a spot bonus for the employees after getting best place to live in the region 5 years in a row. We thought that's a fair give. But I think we've got 87 employees, and they know the mission is customer service based, and every good thing that is in Dyer. A lot of folks say, "Oh, good job, council." It's like, that not many council members are out there, sweeping the storm grates and clearing the debris.
One might be.
Well, that's just because I like doing it.
I was like, I saw you doing some heavy lifting, but
really, it's the employees.
And then from the top down, these are department heads. These aren't.
But I guess the last thing I'll say, and then we'll take a call. We got Kuziak on the phone. This is I'm just being nice to everyone here. This is the council's opportunity to shine because they're now seriously handicapped. I haven't seen anything just on social media, and I always take that with a grain of salt. But if you lose several key players in your organization, you can replace them. Something happens to either one of us, we're replacing our organizations. Sure. But there's a lag time that comes with that. And I tell you, so council, this is your opportunity to. Elections are coming, man, next year. So you lose all these people. You've got 18 months to try to catch up.
And I think that's a good question. We'll get to Kuziak in 1 second. So if you've lost the town attorney and the town manager, then who goes about doing the hiring for these? Like, if say a couple guys in Public Works quit, there's no director of Public Works. How do we move that forward?
Yeah,
right?
my guess is, Joe, operationally, my guess is there's probably several superintendents in their Public Works. Hopefully, they've done a decent job over there of cross training to step someone else up. They'll need to hire a municipal attorney. There's a handful out there, but as much has happened on social media, I wonder how much of that is people saying, I'll let you guys settle down. I don't want to deal with that. Which only means someone's going to deal with it and you're going to have to pay for it. So there's that. I'll go over there. And same thing with, and I love St. John. Love you. Send your letters. You got a place like St. John or some of these places that, if I'm going to go be a town manager somewhere, I'm looking for stability in the residents, stability in the council, and to start to see these giant swings. And so now you're going to be looking for a town manager a year before the entire council is reelected. You may only have an 18-month stay there.
Right.
And so that's going to be hard. So it'll default to whatever attorney they hire, the town council president, who does take on executive functions when there's not a mayor.
They fired the last one when they came in or got him to resign or whatever, right? I mean, that was right at the beginning. Then they hired this guy, but he didn't even make it halfway through.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so if you're in the town management, if that's your profession and you go around, does that look like an appealing job?
Yeah.
To me, I mean, like you said,
it's tough when you've got.
Let's get Dave on. I'm sure Dave has something to say on this.
Hey, Dave.
Good morning.
Hey, a golf clap for stability in Munster, huh?
What the hell's going on over there, Dave?
I'm trying to be so nice.
You're Mr. Insider. What's going on?
I hear from a few people. I'm not an inside guy. I hear from a few people, but if you look back, one of the reasons why Munster is one of the crown jewels of Lake County was the stability that a guy like Tom DiGiulio brought on. And many of the people in Public Works and many of the people that worked their entire career and retired from Munster. So it's kind of been a shock to the system the last 5 years, I would say. And, Dustin John, it was this council told the people, it was behind the scenes, but everybody knew that if they were successful, that they were moving away from Dustin Johnson. So, that's, as Bob said, which is correct, when you're a new council, you have the right to bring in your people, and everybody else knows that as well. So where are we at right now? You're absolutely right. There's going to be an election next year. So who is going to leave a really good job?
So they can't
a town manager job for.
I'd heard the same thing as you. Like they kind of behind the scenes when they were running were like, we're getting rid of this guy. We're going in a different direction. But then last week, the guy they hired resigned. So what does that tell you?
That's the problem that you have. That's the problem that you have when everyone, you're running for office, as Bob said, and you're saying this is what we're going to do. They clearly had different philosophies on government with Dustin, and I think that was pretty well known. And if the Democrats had won the majority, Dustin would still be town manager. And they didn't, and it was not even close. The Republicans won by 900 votes. And so they basically had a mandate to do what they wanted. Now, I don't think it's a secret, and I'm not privy, but the 4 against the 1. Here's the thing that I'm asking: what is it that the 1 wants? You know what I'm saying? Like he's creating all this havoc from what I've been told.
The one being Peterson, right?
Councilman Peterson. What does he want though? What is it? So here's what I've been told he's going to run a full ticket in the primary, which is fine. This is America, and then the good people of Munster will determine if they want to go in that direction. But what is it that hold on, not doing?
So hold on, go back and say it. So Councilman Peterson is going to primary the other sitting Republicans?
That's what the word is. That he's going to put a full ticket together against them, and then the people of Munster will determine it, just like what happened in New York the other day. But the thing of it is since so few people vote in the primary, and I guess that group tends to be more MAGA, the people of Munster are going to have to make a determining factor. The people behind the scenes are saying that there's a very big name that's going to be taking Councilman Peterson on, so they feel that he is somewhat of a threat, and he's going to be primaried. So the people of Munster are going to have to determine, and both sides now this is a Republican fight. Brent, you're liberal. This is the Republicans 5-0 fighting themselves and losing very good people. Dave Westland and Nicole Bennett are at the top of their game. Chief Shekel's at the top of their game. So you're losing people that were making wise decisions for the town of Munster. It has been explained to me that Munster is a boat without a rudder right now. So if you've ever been on a boat and you've lost control, it's not a very good feeling. And this is from a community that used to be the crown jewel of stability. And they actually knew it, and they literally had a little bit of arrogance that they had smarter local officials than everybody else. And they did. And it was evident by the way that it looked. It was evident by the way people wanted to move to Munster. You can go into schools. It was evident by being a top-notch public school. People moved there. My family, actually, the reason it's so near and dear to my heart is my oldest daughter bought my old house, and my youngest daughter's July 15th buying a house on Crestwood. So my grandson lives there. This is my sister, my brother-in-law. We're embedded in the community. So people are really, really worried about what's going to happen here. So my question to Councilman Peterson, if you're unhappy with what is your vision? What is it that you want, that you're creating all this? What is, what I'm saying? If you're going to listen, you can create havoc and all kind of turmoil. What is the end result? What is it that this group isn't doing that you want to do? You know what I'm saying? If you're unhappy, what are they doing and what are you going to do differently is really the question. And then when you lose people like Westland and then Bennett and then you're losing all those people, there's very few communities that can lose all those people and still go. So you ask what happens? Well, there's a lot of good people there. They're going to assume some additional responsibilities, but that's not a long-term fix. So my suggestion, and for those people that listen, if they do listen to me, I would bring in a temporary town manager that's at the end of their career, that has lots of experience, that wants to work a year and a half, and everybody in town is going to understand that person is there for 18 months. And then there's going to be a battle next year between the Republicans against Republicans, Democrats against Democrats, and then in November there will be an election, and then that group will then determine who's going to be the town manager for the next 4 years and who's going to be the town attorney. So, but you need stability. So they need to get They
need stability, but they've got chaos.
They have chaos at all levels, and what happens is, and you had it right. I've talked with people, and it's not just in government. When you're at the end of your career and you can retire, it's not so much about the money anymore. It's about the work environment. And I haven't talked to Chief Shekel. You have. If he's not enjoying the final year or two of his career, what are you going to stick around for, Brent? For what? Just to say that you worked 38 years instead of 37?
Yeah.
So if you're not in an environment where you feel comfortable, then you take your early retirement, and that's what people are doing. So,
which of all those things, and again, I say this as I consider Chief Shekel a close friend. I mean, that's a huge loss for the town of Munster. I mean, he is. You talk about stability and someone that does an excellent job. That's Chief Shekel. He's a leader.
Well, one of the things that set Munster apart from other communities, and I've been in and out of Munster my whole life, is that people actually feared the Munster Police Department because the Munster Police Department was going to be very thorough. They were not scared to pull people over. They were not scared to have a strong code enforcement, all those things. And there's a viewpoint that is not what it once was. Now, the battle with Ridge Road, and I didn't even know that came to a conclusion, but that was a tough scenario. The federal government was giving $17 million, but you had to do what they wanted to do. Now, you can ask yourself, do you want Ridge Road down to one lane? For those people that don't know what it's going to look like, and I'm on this road every day, go to Hessville and go down Kennedy. If that's the way you want Ridge Road to look, you're going to take the $17 million. A lot of people in town did not want that road to go down to one lane each way. So
yeah, no, I mean, I don't. That's a debate, but I think they're from my understanding, and I could be wrong. I think that there was opportunity to take advantage of that grant and still keep it 4 lanes, right?
I think that in talking with, and this was maybe over a year now, I ran into Chief Sheckle. I went to a Junior Munster fundraiser, and they were talking about that, and I want to say it was Councilman, one of the other councils, George Schinken. He was saying that they were having some good conversations about trying to thread the needle. So that was the last I heard about it. I have not heard that there was a finalization. The government is, and I also know
from my understanding, it's gone.
So you have to do, when the government gives you, they don't, and Bob can chime in on this as Dyer councilman. When the federal government gives you money, they don't say here's $14 or $15 million, do whatever the hell you want with it. It is you have to do what the grant says. And they were not going to do that, and so they're not going to get the money if they're not going to do what they said. Is that correct, Bob? Normally,
yeah, there's the one that we've gotten had to do with the extending the trail spur out, and it's still floating out there. There's a little bit of wiggle room, but it's not a, hey, here's $17 million to do these specific type of upgrades and modifications to Ridge Road. Oh, you don't want to do that? Okay, well, you want to do this? Yeah, just take that over to Calumet and do something there. It just doesn't work like that. You can have some modifications within the project of, hey, we don't want the bike lane to go this way. We want it to go over there. We're looking to make this section still the 4 lanes. But there's some stuff you can do with that. But for the most part, by and large, they give you money to do Project X. You're going to do Project X, or you're not going to do it, which is something that, my guess, the previous administration, the previous group thought of. They thought, okay, this is why we're doing it. This is why we're getting the money, and that's what they wanted to do. And just weird timing, the residents said, nah, we don't want that. Or 20% of the residents said, we don't want that. I think that's about, who votes anymore.
Some of the people that are in, some people have said to me, well, the other 4 council people need to get involved and take control. When you're in it's been explained to me that it's a hostile work environment. So you have people that have done well in the private sector, and they're trying to help out their community and running for office, and you don't make a killing as, you're paying Munster or Dyer. You think you want to spend your time dealing with someone where it's a hostile work environment to every meeting you go to?
No, and that's one thing that I've seen.
You're going to see less and less people.
If I could talk on that just for a second, because I have seen that. I've seen that in every community that I deal with, and read between those lines if you want to. When these elected officials get in, they think they're the mayor. I'm not speaking of anyone in Munster. I'm not speaking of anyone in Dyer, Crown Point, Hammond, East Chicago, whatever. They think they're the mayor. And the problem is, you're right. You're just I call them butcher, baker, candlestick maker. None of these people have a lick of clue what goes on in government. They get elected because they want to fix the sidewalk or do something altruistic, and that's fine. That's great. That's the process. But then when you get in, these are the careers that people have chosen. Some of these people have spent years getting degrees and certifications to do all the things that you need to do in public works. It's not just, hey, guy out there with a rake. The amount of water and sanitary, all the certifications, these are trained experts. These are the careers that they've chosen. And to go in there and just start milling about and micromanaging is... it's ridiculous. You've got people who are in charge of parks. The police department, that is the career that person has chosen. And now butcher, baker, candlestick maker gets elected, and they think they know all. No, you knew how to get 20% of the people to come out and do a 50% plus one to vote for you. That's fine. That's how it works. That's how I got elected, but I don't presume to know more than these guys. So when they say, hey, we need to do X, Y, Z, you should really listen to them. Otherwise, you're going to get into these hostile work environments where they say, hey, these elected officials here are just giving me grief. And,
So at the end of the day, Bob, Brent, here's where we're at. You have 18 months. The town of Munster, what's happened has already happened. The people have left. You're not going to get them back. I think if giving free advice, I would get. You need to stabilize things. So I would bring in a firm for 18 months. I would bring in a town manager that's older, that's already done it, that knows that this is his last thing. He doesn't want to do it for longer than 18 months.
Just to go back to that, how do you get that person when the other people are leaving because of a hostile work environment?
You can find someone at the end of there's a few people that we've already talked to. There's a group of people that have been talking. There's a few names that have been bantied about that have that. So you're looking at people that have done that and they're close to the end of their career. They're in late 50s, early 60s. They love the town of Munster. They're doing it not for the money as much as stabilizing. Hey, listen, I've talked to some people that are really freaked out right now in Munster. Like there are people that you are at a crossroads in Munster right now. When people look back, in 25 years, they're going to look back and say, "What did this group do at this moment?" We're in a fork in the road. So you need a true leader to step up. I believe that the 4 people that are there will be a true leader that's going to step up. Wendy Miss is great. There's a lot of other people that are there that are great. They need to get together and say, "Listen, we need to stabilize this thing," and a lot of people think that it's been a good run for 4 years. They're going to have to sell that, because they're running for re-election. You're also going to see out of all the 4 that are in there that aren't Councilman Peterson, do they want to do this for another 4 years? Sometimes people get in there and they realize how much hassle it is, and they don't financially need it. They're like, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, one of our listeners right here, that calls in, Richie Rich, Rich Lieber, he became a town board, and I'm in Griffith waiting for one of my guys here. He went in there and he's not getting paid. And he goes, "Hey, listen, man, this is way too much. I'm just trying to help my kid in school and everything." And, being a school board member throughout this country, especially with all the politics, is like, this isn't worth it. So you're going to start finding that and it's both sides, because everything has to be so extreme that regular people that are just trying to give up their talents and do their political service, you're going to find less and less of them. So the ones you do find are going to be the ones that are a little bit more extreme, and they want to leave their mark. But so my thing to Councilman Peterson, you guys should have him call in. What is it that you want?
I can work on. We can work on getting a couple of them in here next week.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to hear. What's their plan to deal with this problem?
Yeah.
Tell us what is your thing? And hey, my guys call me. I got to take care of some work.
All right, have a good one. It is 8:03 in the region. You're listening to WJB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in beautiful Hammond, Indiana. Streaming live on the YouTubes worldwide. Speaking of Mr. Worldwide and his.
Don't look at that.
Yeah, that's something else there.
That is a gluten-free piece of toast, which tastes a lot like cardboard. I have turned into a baker, and I'm starting to bake my own.
Brought in some muffins.
Almond, they call it 1-to-1. They mix it almond and other types of non-gluten flour. And I've learned, because if you go somewhere and say, we have gluten-free muffins, that'll be $7. And I'm like, I'm not paying that. I'm too much of a region rat to pay that. So I've learned to, I make cornbread, I make banana muffins. I'm going to make bread this weekend. Now, bread is hard. If you ever made bread, I've tried it before, and then it's flat, and then it puffs up too much. No. Instead of going to the hangar and drinking whiskey, I'm home baking cookies.
Total chaos in Munster. So this week on Baking with Jed.
So, what are you laughing about? You work for me.
Munster
no, because that was almost an idea that was brought into fruition. So, it was a baking show.
Yeah, things are topsy-turvy in Munster.
What's your opinion on all that? This
You
is,
know-
I mean, it's chaos.
You know, it has been part of the issue is that you don't realize in that north part of Munster, I have relatives and extended relatives all over the place. I mean, like, I'll be driving around and be like, oh, hey, Baker's like, dude, all you guys are, he uses a derogatory rural term, but you guys are just like city billies, man. You're all living in the same area. And we don't really want to know what's going on. Honestly, I love it. There's a park. Go to Munster Donut, get a freaking donut and coffee and hang out, and then go to St. Tom's at 6:30 on Sunday morning. I don't want any of that touched. You know, and I don't want to go. Had a little birthday cake yesterday. Sit down, and two of my relatives that don't ever talk about politics are like, "Hey, dude, what's happening in Munster? Why is everybody hating each other?" And I'm like, "Why are we talking about this when it's a 2-year-old birthday party?" And it's beyond me.
But I mean, I think that goes to the severity of the situation.
Exactly,
right?
it does
I mean,
go
when
to
people that don't normally get involved or care. And you go, hey, you know, when you see somebody like Chief Shekel taking early retirement, who, you know, find me somebody that doesn't love Chief Shekel.
So is he going through the end of the year, or is he just done?
He's done at the end of the year.
Yeah, so I think that was kind of written. All you got to do is prime him with just get him going, and, you know, he's ready. Okay, he's been there a long time, and he has given his service. And honestly, I'll bet that he may have gone a little bit extra just because he felt loyalty to Munster. That's my thinking. I haven't talked to him about it. I just know the guy, and no one will make fun of him or anything. You know, you can't. He's just a dude from Lowell. I mean, how freaking...
Oh, I can make fun of him.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a dude from Lowell. I mean,
he's
how...
He's my hunting buddy. We go hunting together.
How complex could he get? I sit here
I
with...
mean, you know, I think... I mean... I don't, you know, I don't know. I haven't talked to him about. I mean, he called me and told me when he was going to retire, but I didn't get into the specifics of it. But I don't. I mean, I don't see them a reason for him to go so early. I mean, you know.
Are you glad you moved out of Munster?
Kinda.
I went up and saw Brent, and we spent some time driving around and looking at different areas. And everywhere we go, you have a festival.
I do.
It's all of your geographical marking.
I live the summer life of festivals, which, by the way, Griffith Country Fest.
I'll be there tonight.
You'll be there tonight. Hank Williams Jr. Come by and see me.
What time?
Hank Williams Jr., I believe, is at 6.
So I like to get there right at 5 and see the warm-up band because they tend to play covers.
Mm-hmm. Well, this
you know what I mean?
Thing is you didn't hear my plug of it. I know it's been advertised.
We ran advertising and other places. You should do that. People hear it here and they go. I mean, we're doing the Lansing. By the way, I have
7.
7.
So you got
Mr.
Countryman, which I'm not sure, but the discussion on the Facebook, it's the Mr. Funnyman band doing country. Which those guys are fantastic. That's the Pink Floyd guys that do.
But it's not Mr. Funnyman.
It's Mr. Countryman.
But is it the same people who are in Mr. Funnyman?
I'm not sure, but that's in this. I pulled this post up of the lineup, and that was the discussion that this is the Mr. Funnyman band wearing country hats instead of a Pink Floyd hat. So, but then Hank Williams Jr. at 7. That's right up my alley, Alabama wise.
All right, so I may have to send the grandkids home, but it's just for everybody that is looking for something to do with your kids. Early at the Griffith Fest, there's a wide open, and there's like the biggest sandbox in the region, and then the biggest. I think it's one of the biggest playgrounds with the smushy ground.
Yeah,
so
we were talking about that when we take Bart over there.
It is Mr. Funnyman.
It is Mr. Funnyman.
This is what my magical device here says, that the popular rock cover band Mr. Funnyman is performing as Mr. Countryman for one night only today, June 26th at 5 p.m. at the Griffith Country Music Festival.
That'll be good. Those guys are incredible musicians.
That'll
be
so
great.
good. Yeah.
So one other.
With that park that has the smushy ground, so we would bike over there when Bart was really little. You know, like where they run and fall down all the time, and you're always trying to catch them. But then we go over there, he would just bounce. And it was like, okay, I can just relax. 'Cause
Yes.
he's not going to hurt himself.
There's nowhere to go. It really is. And honestly, I got a little guy that's not clumsy, just he doesn't quite get risk.
Yeah.
So he's like jumping on, and so you have to have that. Some of the places are hard ground, and you're like, oh, we don't necessarily go there. But I do want to say that I went to the Lansing Farmers Market on Tuesday morning.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
she did a great job of putting that together.
Where's that, at Fox Point?
Michelle.
The
at
Fox Point,
yeah.
all the way around. They had vendors. I went there and ate lunch. I bought some.
Did they have farmers there, like with vegetables? Because
It's a little early for that.
Well, I
They're
used to go to
almost
the
there.
Munster Farmers Market. I don't even know if they're doing it anymore. They used to do it over at Centennial, and we would go there because I love farmers markets. But there would be like one farmer with like corn and tomatoes and stuff like that, and then just
7 people selling
candles.
gutter guards.
Yeah,
and and then yes, gutter guards and insurance and but I mean,
Which there's a place for all that. That's fine. I'm not knocking you. But send your letters.
When we had the restaurant in Madison, I used to go. I would occasionally go to the one in Madison, and it was like.
I've been to that
amazing.
one.
People from all over, like you've got the Mennonites and the Amish and the Hmong community are big farmers. I mean, it was like every kind of produce that you could want was there. Like it was like, to me, farmers market is vegetables.
Well, right, you're
Like
talking around the
cows,
state
wine.
capital.
Yeah.
I've been to that many
it's
times.
amazing.
Milking.
Yeah. So don't you guys have to go somewhere?
We do.
Yeah,
we
we're
do.
supposed to leave at 8.
We're
Why?
supposed to leave at 8. We got.
Why? Where you gotta be?
Work, man.
Work. I got a busy day today.
You guys got work. I'll tell you what. I'll give both you guys raises right now.
I
okay?
appreciate that. You heard it on air, folks.
50% or 100%?
Yeah.
Whatever percent you want.
Just a 3% cost of living.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, man, I do want to thank you guys. I was listening earlier. Thanks for plugging Haven House.
Yeah.
I didn't do that enough. They are hurting right now, and it's pretty cool. You just go to their website and you say, all right, I'll give $5 a month. And then they'll take $5 a month out of your credit card or debit card, and that's all you do. Some people might give more, but that's kind of the new way to donate, is to give just a little bit every month, so you don't feel like $100 or $200 or $300 donation right off the bat. So all right, well, thanks a lot. I'm gonna. Oh, can I plug one other?
It's your show, man.
My buddy. No, it's not my show. It's your show. Remember that.
Well, then pan back to the two of us. No, I'm kidding. It's your show, by the way.
Sunday, I don't know what time the Country Fest is going on, but also in Griffith at John's Place, my buddy Gary Silverman is playing on the patio at John's Place. You would like this guy. He's a year older than me at Munster, and he looks like, honestly, I didn't want to tell him this, but I just recently saw.
I didn't want to tell him this, but I'm going to say it on air in front of 20,000 people.
I went last night to the Wicker thing, and they had the Tom Petty Southern, whatever, and it was really nice. I ran into so many people, but he was one of them. And I had recently been watching kind of an older interview of Keith Richards. And my buddy, I'm like, dude,
wow,
you're starting to look like Keith Richards, but he's really good. He does Rolling Stones better than anybody. He doesn't do a lot because I don't think the market is there as much. You know, they do other stuff now. They do some pop. They do some older stuff, but he plays with a guy named...
Check him out.
Yeah.
I will be on the trailer cutting meat in Griffith.
I know you
So we
will.
start at 3 with Ashland, and then 4:30 to 8:30 is the country tribute with Kenny Chesney, the 90s tribute with Kenny Chesney, Zach Brown, or icons of country. Kenny Chesney, Tim McGraw, Zach Brown, and Carrie Underwood.
Sounds great, man.
It's going to be a fun weekend
How
in
much
Griffith.
stuff is there to do in the region right now?
Every week.
Now,
something
Dyer
all the time.
Fest, obviously had got...
You want to plug the comeback?
So we've got
the Dyer Fest comeback.
The Dyer Fest comeback. So next Tuesday we do have our summer concert series. It's every other Tuesday. But on July 17th, we were able to lock arms again with the Verve Pipe. They're coming back July 17th, Friday. We're going to have the Verve Pipe. Opening for them is going to be Morning Glories. They were at the Cherville Fest this past round. Beer garden, food tent, our fireworks show. Mad Bomber is going to come out and do that again. So that's going to be a really fun night. We're really condensing all of the missed opportunities we had from the rain where we had to cancel the fest days. We're just going to cram it all into one day, and it's going to be fun.
So is there a way to walk from Brent's place directly to what do you call it now? The new
Parkside.
Parkside Pavilion.
There will be, correct?
There
will be,
yeah.
but you can't. I looked at it the other day. I rode my bike down there, and I'm like, all right, if I wanted to go to Brent's and have
that spot to the south of yours, the sidewalk ends on yours.
We have a sidewalk.
Right.
It goes to nowhere, from one end of our lot to the other.
Yeah.
Which was 10 years ago. They're like, this is going to be a walkable corridor.
Yeah.
We put a sidewalk in.
Yeah.
There is if you go up to one or two of the lights, you can get across.
But with the future development coming, there will be a light and more sidewalks.
Now you have to decide, and I hate to bring this up, now you have to decide how far that bike path's going to go.
So the spur that comes behind.
I love putting you on the spot.
No. The
where you
spur
gotta go?
that goes behind.
I'm going to go to work.
Yeah, we
It's a
do.
busy day.
It's a
busy day in the barbecue.
Do you know how many
We'll bring the trail.
You know
at
how
some
many
point.
more barbecue sandwiches you sold at Country Fest by coming here today? So this is your biggest ROI.
But if I'm not there,
to make,
I won't be. No one will be making the barbecue sandwiches to sell. I've got to go get the meat out of this smoke.
You know, can I say one other plug? I brought my dad, my 87-year-old dad, to see Brent 2 days ago. Sits down. I never been here, and you gave him some brisket. That, of course, he's an old man. He ate 2 of the pieces, and I think you might have thrown an extra one on there. So he's got this big thing, and then they take the brisket home, and then he and Kelly each have brisket for dinner, and they're just like it melts in your mouth. Now, I don't eat red meat, so I don't know what it tastes like.
You're missing out.
But my old man, I trust more than anybody in the world. He's like he would
We were
sit
there 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And had the brisket.
He was there during lunch. You were there at dinner.
So my dad would say if it's not good, if there's a problem with it, he has no problem. He'll
He's
to your
direct.
face. He'll say, your food's too salty. It sucks. I'm not coming here again. He would say that to your face. When you get old, you can do that, right? But he did not. I'm like, come on, Dad, tell me. I don't eat red meat. Tell me. He's like, I'm telling you, it's tender. It tasted perfect. He loved the fries, but I think at your place, honestly, if you go there, get the fries plain. I'm not a big fan of that stuff, the Cajun fries. You think it's good.
Dirty fries. No, it's
dirty fries.
Brisket rub.
Yeah.
It's our brisket rub. They're topped with brisket rub and then served with smoked tomato aioli.
Yes.
That
Then
sauce
he
is
had
amazing.
I think he had the baked beans. Once again, the old man's as particular as it could be. Wow, these beans are really good. So
they're made with
please the most difficult person to please in the region. His mom was even worse, man. She would just tell you right to your face. All right. Hey, I'm trying to draw this out on you guys.
We've got to work.
Hey, I'm going to do a little segment right after this, so don't change anything. We'll take a short break, and then Adriana and I are going to talk a little bit, and then we're going to play a brand new podcast from the Northwest Indiana Realtors Association. So just stay where you're at. I'll take it home because these guys they're going to get docked. It's going to be Doc's barbecue.
He can get docked at the place he owns. He can dock himself.
That's the worst form of docking.
He's cutting my pay today.
Exactly. Hey, man, go out and see Brent at Country Fest this weekend. Thanks a lot.
From June 26th through 28th, Central Park in Griffith will host the Country Music Tribute Festival, featuring tribute performances inspired by artists such as Johnny Cash, George Strait, Morgan Wallen, Carrie Underwood, Tim McGraw, and more. The event invites families to enjoy on-site food and drinks on the lawn, with fireworks planned for Friday and Saturday nights. Best of all, admission is free. Don't miss out.
We've had some cars run into the barrier wall, not paying attention. They were on their phone.
Texting, scrolling. Yeah, it's bad. Most often they be on their phones or they're just not paying attention. They can cause a crash.
We could stand on the side of the road and watch every other vehicle looking down into their lap as they're passing us. You know what they're looking at. They're looking at their phone.
Phones. On their phones, not paying attention. Phones.
I'm not a mathematician, but I say probably about 80% of the people who pass me are on their telephones.
No call, text, or video is worth putting yourself or a road worker in danger. When driving through construction, LIUNA members ask you for your sake and ours.
Slow down, stay off your phone, please. Be aware where we're at, where the cone zones are at.
Stay off your phones and buckle up and drive safe.
We're not asking for much.
This is Brian Short, Business Manager for the Indiana Laborers District Council. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Tech Credit Union supports the essential role of union labor in building strong communities. That's why we offer hassle-free banking, financial empowerment, and a commitment to your success. Save for the future, handle life's challenges, and trust a partner that stands by hardworking union members. Tech Credit Union, the better option for you and your money. Visit techcu.org or call 800-276-8324. Tech Credit Union, supporting union families every step of the way.
Enjoy the taste of summer at the Farmers Market at Fox Point. Every Tuesday from 9 to 1, shop locally grown fresh produce, delicious baked goods, artisanal treats, and local culinary creations. Just minutes from I-8094, the Farmers Market at Fox Point in Lansing, Illinois is a perfect spot to hear acoustic musicians, stretch with morning yoga, and enjoy community fun throughout the season. To see all vendors and entertainment, visit foxpoint.org. That's point with an E, foxpoint.org.
Good morning, everyone. You're listening to The Morning Show here on WJLB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana, here at the Strike and Van Til Studios. So they're out there chatting, but let's do some traffic and weather just to get that out the way. So for today, if any of you are headed out to the festival today to go see Brent, get some amazing barbecue. I don't know the I don't know the address of the store to plug it right then and there. But you heard it earlier today on the show. But they will be in Griffith today. But weather is looking pretty good. It is going to be a high of 69 degrees and a low of 61. So a little bit chilly, maybe some jacket weather, but is better than it being the heat wave that we are going to get later on this week. We are seeing tomorrow highs of 74 degrees, lows of 61, pleasant with periods of sun and partly cloudy. Then the heat wave starts Sunday, where we're going to be in the 90s. You're going to see a thunderstorm around in the AM, and then humidity with thunderstorm spots throughout the day. But then it clears up for the rest of the week. High 90-degree weather and lows in the mid-70s. And that continues on all the way until next Sunday, where we are going to drop down a little bit, but we're going to see some thunderstorms in that area. I don't think you have traffic up just yet, but I do know that there is still that rolled over semi on the Bishop Ford, I-90, west before 115th Street. 65 going north and south is looking good. 80 going east and west is looking good. 90 going east and west is looking good alongside the Chicago Skyway. Downtown area is looking pretty good as well. So that is for your traffic and weather. Again, head out to the Griffith Festival to hear a bunch of different amazing country cover bands, as well as get some good food. Have a bunch of different food vendors, as well as Doc's Barbecue will be out and about there today. We ready?
Yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out.
Let me move the camera so that way
I realize that.
Yes.
I mean, first of all, we've had this thing 22 years, and I realize how much I have ignored and neglected business-wise, as you could see. But one of the, I have to go back and fix a lot of different things. But the other thing is that the media landscape is changing so quickly that I want to give an update on one of the things that we're doing here in just a second with Adriana. But Adriana, You have some, before we do that, you have some of the footage of them trying to right the derailed train.
And I think I have
And Goddard gave it to you.
extra footage as well. We do. All right, so we have two different things to play. So one of them is from Paul Goddard, and one of them is from Mark Kopel from Hobart. So we have this one right here. And this is from last night. And you see here, they have the cranes.
Hold on a second. Stop right there, will you?
Yep.
All right. So the reason I wanted you to put this up is I'm trying to figure out how they were going to do it. I was with a couple of construction guys last night that were explaining to me that they could probably just put the crane on top of the railroad tracks and then roll it in. And basically, once you right the first one, sometimes the other ones come and they right themselves.
Yep.
That's exactly what they're doing.
So as we continue on, you kind of see it.
So they have gone and evidently there's this type of crane that can roll down the tracks and then lift the first car. But they're all mangled, the cars are, so I don't know if they're just picking them up and dropping them or if they are going to try to roll the train off. Or, why did that derail in the first place? Now, there were a couple of theories, okay? Now, is that Goddard or is that Kopel?
So this is Goddard's. Kopel's is...
Okay, we're going to look at Kopel, too.
That's...
Paul Goddard, go like Region News Source. And, all right, so here's
driving
Kopel.
by.
All right, here's driving by. This is what I wanted to point out to you guys.
Let's see if we can kind of...
I was here yesterday, and Repay was supposed to do the show, so I'm the fill-in. That's the deal, right? All right, stop right there. So this is driving on the toll road in the right lane. Kopel must have slowed down, right? And he's taking video of this. Here's what I don't understand from a safety standpoint. This train is leaning almost over the toll road. I mean, I could see if it falls, one of the cars falls directly, and there might be enough room between the toll road and the railroad tracks to fall directly to the ground. But if one of them were to kind of turn, it would fall directly onto the toll road. I can't believe they let that toll road lane. It could have closed it down to one lane. They left it open, and that's other people's decisions.
Kind of mangled it is there too.
And he's going slow, obviously, all the way down the length of the
barrier too.
Barrier. And have you posted these?
No, we just got this in not too long ago.
All right, post that, will you? And because people were showing me last night at Wicker Park your posts on, I think you call it WJOB Network. Why don't you call it WJOB 1230?
I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, no, it's called WJOB Network. But anyways, we'll change that name.
Oh, because we had podcasting as well, and we didn't know which one we could do. But
yeah, so the other thing is a guy sent me,
main logo.
I don't have my phone, it's in the other room, but he sent me a picture, and I'll just quote what he said. I have no idea if this is true. He goes, how much more region can this be? They called out a firm to right the derailment and get that train out of there, right?
Yeah.
And once they did that, it evidently might not have been union operators. So Local 150, from what I heard, came out and was picketing the non-union firm that was righting the train. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not taking any calls. I'm sorry. So, also, you posted the aerial footage from Trucker Mike.
Yes.
And he's got more of it, and you could go to Mike's ground to air something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is on Facebook, Mike's Ground to Air, and it has some really good aerials of this. And you could also go to Adriana's Facebook page, WJOB Network, and look at it that way. So, once again, the derailment and the trains are still out, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see here. We do have. So he posted the footage, probably a little bit longer portions of the footage than what we had posted.
Yeah.
Because he had sent us about a 10-minute clip. So I just took about a minute of that. And you could see it on his page, the footage that he had provided to us.
Can you play some of that here for all the YouTube people?
Yes, I can.
More and more, I guess you got to listen. You got to watch on YouTube if you want to see some of this stuff. And part of it is so many people out there giving us good stuff. Now look at this, Mike's Ground to Air drones or something.
Mike's Ground to Air videos.
Yeah, Mike's Ground to Air videos. Okay,
What
look
a
at
tagline.
this.
I love that.
Look at this video. I mean, you can't get better national news video than this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was at the Wicker Park
Yeah.
concert yesterday.
How was it?
And there was a drone going over. Was he there? Do you know?
I don't know if he was there.
Mike's
Mike,
Ground to Air videos.
You want to put in the comments if you're there or not?
Yeah, Mike,
yeah.
if you have video from that, I mean, it was really crowded. It was the Tom Petty look-alike band.
Yeah.
And it was outstanding. Night for it. There were a lot of people there. And then I saw the drone, and it looked just like his drone that he used to hang Bud Light cans out in front of me over there on Indianapolis Boulevard when we were at Purdue. All right, so here's what we want to talk about. Adriana, tell us what a micro podcast is.
So a micro podcast is what we are calling in the whole title, because I have the whole title here now. After kind of playing around with some different things, we are starting a micro podcast, and it is called WJOB Spotlight, Northwest Indiana Business News, Local Events, and Community Spotlight. That is the full length of the title, but for short, we call it WJOB Spotlight. This is a new podcast that we are starting, and it is a micro podcast to where it is going to be from 4 to 7 minutes, and it is going to highlight some of the different businesses here in Northwest Indiana. Now, whether that be local businesses that you hear their advertising, and or some that are a bit more mainstream, such as carpenters, any of the unions, Hard Rock Casino. So any of those, we are trying to implement this, and we've seen a lot of great different ideas, some inspirations from a lot of different platforms all over the country. So we are going to take our own spin on that, and we actually have some different clients of ours lined up to do a micro podcast with us. So if you are trying to just hear that 4 to 7 minutes of what's happening, what's going on, and why it's important, this is the podcast that you guys definitely want to listen to. It is going to just be a shortened version of some of the other podcasts that we do, such as with Calumet Painting and our newest one with Naira.
Yeah, so Adriana kind of brought this to my attention that it's pretty important that if you're a town or you're a charity or some association, or if you're a business, that you somehow tell your own story. I come in here on a regular basis with Matt Hansen, who Adriana just graduated with taking his classes, and so did I. Hansen's the marketing guru, and he's like, Jed, you got to look. And he says to Adriana, who was their student at the time, his student at the time, and he said, you got to look at what's called content creation, and that those studios are popping up all over America because people want to tell their own story. They need a clip for their social media. They need a clip for their emails. They need a clip for their training sessions. You need content it's called first party original content. And we've been doing that, and Adriana's podcast network has grown a little too quickly. But so then we said, well, 25-minute podcasts, those are kind of lengthy, and they don't fit for everything. Sometimes you just want one little topic. So Adriana landed on 4 to 7 minutes. I was going to go 2 to 10, but she said 4 to 7 minutes. Can't go any longer than 7. It shouldn't be less than 4. And a number of our, number of you clients will be approached to say, hey, we'll just do it for free or a beta. As a matter of fact, today, if anybody wants to do one, I'll be here today and we're going to be working on it. But we did our first micro podcast or first spotlight yesterday, and that was Peter Novak of the Northwest Indiana Realtors Association. We won't hear that one now. We're going to play their full podcast. And then I did a little micro after it, or a little spotlight after it, when he addresses what a Bears stadium would mean to real estate prices and the real estate market in Northwest Indiana. That's a very good spotlight.
That one's actually posted right now onto our YouTube and all podcast platforms. So just go to videos and you will see it posted up there. That was posted at 8 a.m.
All right, so it just came out, and it's it's a spotlight. And if you want to hear what Pete Novak, the head of all the Realtors Association, NIRA they call it, used to be GNIR, and they are doing a podcast now. We're going to hear their first one right now. But if you're a business and you're like, well, I think it's like ridiculously low priced right now, which will probably change. If you go to Chicago, it's I think $675 per sit down is the lowest you can find. Here, I think she's going to do it for very cheap, and you would be able to have it, and then it would play on you get the clips, you get the whole file, it goes on your social media, and then we play it on the air here. So it's a pretty good deal. And now I can see, Adriana, why people around the country are doing this and why Hanson was pushing you. So, all right, so we're going to play the NIRA podcast. This is Pete Novak and I think it's Elena Lopez, the Director of Communications and Professional Development for all the realtors around here, and they're trying to tell their story. You don't realize how much pressure they've been under over the last 5 years as Northwest Indiana has boomed, and now they're kind of getting out and telling the story of, hey, realtors have been a big part of this. Adriana, I know it wasn't good to hear, but in this podcast, Novak says, I think 15 years ago, 17 years ago, you could buy the average house here in Northwest Indiana for $120,000.
Yeah, and now there's no way you would need at least $200,000 to get basic essentials that everybody was looking for, and then adding on to make it that. So it's crazy. Housing prices are ridiculous now.
He says it in this podcast. He says it was $120,000 in, I think, 2009. The medium home price in Northwest Indiana. Now it's $280,000.
Yep.
So I feel bad for people of your generation. There's no surprise why the average age of the first-time home buyer is the highest it's ever been. It's 40 years old.
Yeah, and also with the pricing, I know we're going to get to podcasts right now, but with the minimum wages, and then what, not only just owning a house, renting a house too, if you work around that $15 to $20 mark per hour, which is just overall what any business is going to pay their employees, that's still not enough for them to get their own house. 2009 maybe, but that's also because it was the housing market crash, correct?
Yeah, it was low at that point.
Yeah.
So, but it's 120 to 280, I don't know what to tell the young generation like you, but this is something that Novak addresses over and over in this podcast. It's a brand new podcast. You can get it on Apple, Spotify soon, right? It's not.
Yeah, it's going to take a few days for it to pick up because they were posted today. But if you want to go watch it, go to youtube.com/WGLB1230.
All right. Way to go. This is Adriana's podcast network. It's booming. You want to be part of it, get a hold of Adriana at WJOB1230.com. Do not call me. All right. Thanks.
Here we go. It's going to play.
Hey,
right
everybody.
now.
Welcome to the NIRA podcast, Northwest Indiana Realtors Association.
Correct.
Not Northern. Northwest.
Not Northern.
Indiana.
Northwest Indiana.
It's a new podcast. This is episode 1. I'm Jim Diedlow. I'm the owner here, and I host a lot of these podcasts. And I'm pretty excited about this one because everybody likes real estate, and we've talked about it for a long time. that we needed to get some talk of real estate on the air here. And who better to do that than Elena Lopez, Director of Communications for the Northwest Indiana Realtors Association. How you doing, Elena?
I'm doing great.
Okay, can you pull your mic up a little bit right up
Yes, I
onto
can.
you? And then we'll just direct it right here on the air. When you get a chance, can you shut the door? Because she's on the end over there, and I'm picking up a little bit of the transmitter. If you guys are following this live on the radio, we record our podcast a lot of times live on the air, and we are back in our old studios. And Pete Novak, the CEO, is one of the guys that remembers this old place, right?
Yeah, I'm dating myself, but it's been a long time since I've been back in this building, but I remember it very well, and it's good to be back here.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of, we're trying to give some life to an old structure, which is really kind of sometimes what we're going to talk about on this podcast. First of all, we need to get some of the details out of here. You guys used to be Ganayar, and that's what people remember a lot of times, some of the longtime people, and you changed your name. Why?
You know what? If you look at our history, we're a product of many mergers over the years. And at one point, that term greater signified collaboration among these local associations that ultimately merged. But when we think about Northwest Indiana, it's not the greater Northwest Indiana area. It's just Northwest Indiana. And so we just wanted to simplify it, make things simple, and just kind of better represent, I think, how most people know our geography.
Yeah, so it's now NIRA. It's been that way for a couple of years now,
Yeah,
right?
2022, I think, we rebranded.
Yeah, rebranding. Some people, I think, are still calling it Ganayar, but
Some of our members still call it that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
It's always the Sears Tower.
Yes, it's always the Sears Tower is correct.
Very true.
And so Ganayar, I kind of had an idea what that is. Same thing as NIRA, but what is it? What do you do?
Yeah, so we're a realtor association. We're really a professional trade association, a 501c6 that supports the realtor members in the Northwest Indiana area. So close to 600 real estate offices in a 6 and 7 county region here in Northwest Indiana, close to 4,000 members. So we try to provide support services for them, everything from education to professional standards, which really means like legal advice, code of ethics, ethical advice to our members. We own and operate the multiple listing service, which is the database and the marketplace that these 600 offices, these close to 4,000 members use to communicate listings with each other. So we own and operate that, and we try to make sure that that runs efficiently and in real time and gives realtors in Northwest Indiana up-to-date information. And in addition to that, we certainly try to play a role in the community where we don't just look at housing, but we look at things like housing policy. We look at the needs and the demand for Northwest Indiana, and we really try to work with local communities to just make sure they understand what demand is out there and maybe what they need to consider for their neighborhoods that would make the Northwest Indiana housing market a more attractive place to live and work.
How long have you been with NIRA?
I'm going on close to 20 years. I think I'm in my 19th year right now as our CEO.
What did you do before?
So I actually used to work in the city of Hammond and did a couple jobs. I was the deputy chief of staff for Mayor Tom McDermott Jr. Sometimes I've been around so long, people are like, Tom McDermott Sr., and I'm like, no, I'm not that old, but Tom McDermott Jr. And then for the last 3 years working in the city of Hammond, I ran the city of Hammond Planning and Development Department, so a background in economic development, community development, and planning.
So when you come back to this beautiful old radio stadium, I mean, this is what Hammond's all about, man. You know every nook and cranny of this place.
I've known about WJOB since I was a very little kid, and this building, and I've been here many times in the past. And like I said, it's actually great to be back here. I haven't been back here in a long time, but this place brings me back to a long time ago. Just growing up, WJOB was a big part of our growing up in Hammond.
Yeah, now we're into podcasts, and just a shameless plug, NIRA has agreed to do a podcast. If you want for your organization or your business or whatever, just get a hold of Adriana at WJOB1230.com. Do not email me. I don't negotiate these anymore. Elena,
Yes.
How long you been there?
I have been there a little over 6 months.
And where were you before?
I was a realtor and a managing broker.
And
20 years.
For over 20 years?
So I've been part of NYRA for over 20 years.
So
some aspect.
Are you still selling?
No. Nope. Full-time communications and education director.
What'd you learn in the field that you can bring to your job right now?
What? The information that the realtors want to know and what's going to help them develop their business. That's really, I think, the strength that I'm bringing to NYRA.
When you started 20 years ago,
sure.
Were there 4,000 members? I think that seems
idea.
high right now. Is that when you started? Were there 4,000 people?
No, not at all. Our area has grown, and it's grown along with how our housing market's grown. You know, Northwest Indiana has, over the last 20 years, become a very desirable place to live for a number of reasons. And our membership, I think you can argue beyond real estate, a lot of professional services in Northwest Indiana have grown as we've gone away from that steel mill manufacturing base and diversified. Professional services are on the rise, and real estate is absolutely on the rise. So no, our membership's been increasing pretty substantially over the last decade.
So I will sprinkle in some of the, what NYRA does and some of the educational stuff. But let's go at one issue right now. Here we are. You may catch this podcast several times on WJOB over the next month or two. But here we are on June 25th of 2026. And it looked like we were going to get a brand new housing bill in America, bipartisan support. And actually last night, the President Trump kind of put the brakes on it. Not sure where it's going to go, if they're going to override a veto or whatever. But why are both sides coming together to work on housing?
Yeah, so housing nationally has had an inventory problem for almost a decade now. Since 2014, inventory has been on the decline, and it's a national issue. In Northwest Indiana, it's even more of an issue because of the buyers we get from Illinois and other areas as well. So you're talking about nationally an already tight housing market. And then when you look at Northwest Indiana, it's even tighter because we have buyers coming in from outside the area, making competition even more stiff for buying a home. So it's even a bigger problem here, which is why a bill like that is very important to Northwest Indiana.
So the bill, and 2% of the people that listen to the morning show might know what was in it, but ultimately there are incentives to kind of rezone some things in your town and in your city, and to make it a little bit easier, from what I understand, for, I think the average age of the new first home buyer is 40. Is that right?
That's crazy.
And that's just, I mean, I got my daughters are in their 30 or 32 or something like that, and their friends are just having so much trouble finding something affordable. That's what is the main impetus of this bill, right?
It is. It's literally to try to boost housing supply in a number of different areas. The theory is if we can boost the number of homes that are available for sale, that will help calm prices a little bit. I don't want to say reduce prices. And homeowners don't like to hear any idea of their home values not going up. They love the idea of their home values going up. And that's understandable. I own a home as well. I like nothing more to see that my equity is growing, and probably my biggest asset. But the issue is, and I get asked this, people say, well, why is that a problem that my home value is rising? And I'm like, as a homeowner, that is not a problem. But I'll often say, do you have children? Do they plan on being home buyers one day? Do you have family members who are younger that eventually want to buy a home? That's really who it's affecting. For them, first-time home buyers, just affordability in general. And imagine in Northwest Indiana, in the Midwest in general, housing values are much lower than in many other parts of the country. So we've sort of had that advantage where, the cost of housing traditionally has not been high in the Midwest, and in Northwest Indiana at one point in time, it really wasn't all that high. If I rewind this back to, let's say, 2008, the median home value was $120,000. Here in 2026, you're talking closer to $300,000. I think $275,000, $280,000. That's for the same exact home. I give this example all the time when we're talking about median values. Just picture a 3-bedroom, 2-bath 1,900 square foot home. So that 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,900 square foot home in 2008, 120,000. Today, 280,000. And, home values going up is fine as long as incomes go along with that to match, but that's not been the case. Incomes haven't risen to the level that housing values have risen, and that's created this gap. Again, not just in Northwest Indiana, it's a national problem, which is why you see Congress finally, for the first time in decades, you're seeing bipartisan support for a major housing bill. And that happened in the state legislature as well. House Bill 1001 was a bill that really tried to deal with the same issue from the state level. They're really looking at zoning and again, really the idea is just to make zoning a little bit more flexible to be able to add more housing, but also do it in a way that does not change the character of the neighborhood. I think sometimes when people say, rezoning or add density, they automatically think like you want to do that everywhere. And that's not at all what we're saying. We're saying there are certain parts of certain communities that sort of additional density, whether that's mixed use types of developments, make a lot of sense. But we're also conscious of making sure that the character of the neighborhood is maintained, because that's why people have been choosing Northwest Indiana in the first place. So it is really, Jim, it's a balance of maintaining what your existing residents want versus preparing for the next generation. And I think it's a little bit of a selfish view just to say, hey, we don't want any more growth. We don't want any more housing just because you have your home. But again, that example I gave, I have a 19-year-old. I have a 17-year-old. I hope they don't live with me till they're 40. If they do, I'll let them. But my goal is to that they'll be homeowners one day. And I think really my goal has always been, and our organization's goal is to be able to give them options. I don't know, in the last 5 years or so, it's been the first time that, Northwest Indiana has been fairly stagnant in population growth. Now, all of a sudden, again, Northwest Indiana has become a desirable place to live. We are all of a sudden getting more people coming in. Population is growing. And so it's almost a new problem for us. It's a very old problem. It's, our industry is what brought people to Northwest Indiana in the first place. But then when that declined, we went through that, that stagnation of population growth. And then we've sort of reinvented ourselves to diversify what Northwest Indiana has to offer. And then all of a sudden people are paying attention again. And I think our job is to provide a product that allows, for example, young professionals to want to come here. That missing middle, that workforce housing, the teachers, firemen, nurses, that they can all live close to where they work and not be priced out of that. And then for our elderly residents, think about it. We lose a lot of our population to citizens that are older, that ultimately when they retire, they think about selling their home and they're like, okay, I can downsize if I have options, or I might move to Florida or Arizona where there's warmer weather. And I think the more maintenance-free option we can give them, we're more likely to keep our elderly residents here in Northwest Indiana as well. So it's a problem all across the board, and we try to look at our housing and our housing policy in Northwest Indiana kind of comprehensively in that regard.
I guess I'm kind of smiling because I remember when you took this job. Yeah. And I kind of questioned you. I'm like, why'd you do that? But because at the time, I think 2007, maybe you took it. Yeah, I think I had been here for like 3 or 4 years, and I enjoyed working with you in the city of Hammond. I'm like, dude, why are you leaving? And I think it was actually on a golf course, and you're like, well, I think there's some real possibilities here. And I'm like, dude, nobody wants to move to Northwest Indiana. I mean, look at, you're talking 120,000 median up to 280. Yeah. So when you took this job, would you have ever projected that the problem would be not enough supply? Because that was not the case when you came in. Yeah. Or Elena, and you could jump in on this one too. Would you have projected that?
No, I don't think anyone really could have predicted the inventory issue that we have today. And remember, part of that's driven by interest rates going as low as 2% and 3%. So if you could have predicted that, you should be doing a different line of work, and you'd probably be making a lot of money doing something else. But I don't think anyone could have predicted that. I think what has always been true is you look at Northwest Indiana, and it's a fairly low density suburban area. I mean, you have your urban parts, you have your rural parts. You have all of that in Northwest Indiana. I think that's part of what makes it a beautiful place. But if you look at our product type, and when I say product type, I mean sort of that middle missing housing. So everything in between a single family residence and an apartment complex, we have less of that than a lot of other areas. And you don't have to go too far into other states, and maybe using Illinois is a bad example, but that's actually something they've done well. If you go look around a lot of their commuter rail stations, you're going to see a lot of those different types of housing developments. And what was interesting about going to see those is you might have thought that that was appealing to someone middle-aged, but we were often told that the people in those developments were often, as I mentioned, young professionals, or a lot of times they were older residents that are looking for maintenance-free developments. And so I think that part's always been true, not necessarily that we've had low inventory, which we do, but I think you could have always looked at Northwest Indiana and say, in certain areas, again, I'm careful how I say that. I don't mean everywhere, but in certain areas, it would make sense to do some more denser developments that offer a variety. And part of that, Jim, is like a lot of these types of developments are smaller footprints in terms of the actual unit itself. So in essence, becomes a more affordable product versus just buying a ranch single-family home or a two-story home. It's a smaller commitment, and I think that's sort of the demographic that Northwest Indiana always could have appealed to, but we just haven't historically done a good job of that. And it's mostly because our communities, we're trying to look at housing from a regional perspective now, and trying to make sure that when you're looking at it from a 6 or 7 county area, we're able to talk about what we're really missing when you look at all of that, versus housing policy has mostly been left to individual communities. And it should always be, but they should also understand sort of the bigger picture. And I think that's what we're trying to help provide for them.
Well, our good friend, Matt Reardon, comes on here from time to time.
Oh, Matt, yeah.
And I tell him that he is not allowed to say 19 overlapping municipal taxing jurisdictions, because you just hear the click on the dial. But
Okay, we are going to end the podcast there because we do have our next show coming up, which is Veterans Views. So thank you so much for watching our brand new podcast, Key to the Region, NYRA podcast here with WJOB. We are going to take a short break, and then we will be back with Veterans Views. Don't go anywhere. You are listening to WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana, here at the Shrek and Van Til Studios. Let's hear a word from our sponsors.
Before Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, we were being charged various maintenance fees and various check writing fees for all of our accounts. And with Notre Dame, we don't have that. We have that true community partnership. We get interest based on all of our parish and school accounts, and the interest rate